Of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends. But one question: why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what we, and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise.
Nobody knows more about surprises than Japan and Pearl Harbor. Wow, incredible. Every day I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I like wake up like scrambling to find my phone now. It's bad because I already know there's like some new country got bombed, or we're in some new war or something, or some new pedophile in the administration, or something with Israel. And I wake up and right away it's Trump to the Prime Minister of Japan saying, yeah, I mean, no one knows better about surprises than y'all did, bringing up unearthing that one. Yeah, that was, I mean, what do you even do? What do you even do? I mean, this is like a humiliation ritual, I think, for world leaders to come and sit down next to Trump and let him just spew nonsense. It's going to take until a world leader has the balls to be like, nah. Zelensky did, kind of. He's unfortunately in a position where, like, you can't really stand up to him, but we need, like, a big Western country, European country to, like, stand up, like, stand up to Trump sitting in that seat and tell him, nah, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I wish you would have, like, I know it's politics, whatever, but Trump doesn't care. So what do you mean? What do you mean by surprises, Mr. Trump? Hello, you guys. Check into the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome. We're starting right off the bat. This was the Trump clip. We're not going to watch a whole lot of Trump today. Some context around Trump, but probably not a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot of him. We got Pete Hegseth today and the latest on the war in Iran, and I got some more about Iran going on today. But before we do that, check into the stream. Let me know how you're doing. Happy Thursday. I almost got it wrong. Barry, how you doing? What up, Barry? Good to see you. Happy good day, Mark, and everybody. 21 months of membership. I appreciate that. Thank you, Twitter. How you doing? Old Mortem, good to see you. Trash Pando said, Old Mortem said, every day I wake up and feel like insulted the whole world. Literally. Let me pull up Facebook here. On Facebook, if you guys could share the stream out, help get the algorithm back. I return to stream this week, but as usual with streaming, and you take some time off, your algorithm sucks real bad. Like, it was good that first day on Monday, but like every day it's like less and less are getting notified just because I'm not doing what I was doing with Metro Surge, and it'll take a while to build this stream back up until I can go out and cover IRL viral news again, which will happen, especially under this administration. So while in between the big IRL stuff being on the ground, we got No Kings coming up in 9 days now. So in between the IRL stuff, I need your guys' support to help share the feed out. Tell people about it. I have tons of people coming to my chat and tell me about other people's streams all the time. Well, I don't want you to do that to other streamers. Don't do that. But like, if you're watching mainstream news or something and there's a live feed on there, maybe let them know about Mercado Media. Only the mainstream news though. Don't go do that to other independent streamers. Don't do that. But do it on like the mainstream news. Tell them about Mercado Media. Let them know. Get the mainstream news viewers to come on over here and watch that. Watch what's going on. But that's what's coming up next for if you're waiting for more IRL stuff. Why I'm not on the ground. I mean, there's protests that do take place. Not I've covered all the ones in Minnesota. If like there's one that's popping up in Minnesota, I'll get out there. Minnesota's kind of tired. We had another snowstorm. It's going to be 70 degrees this weekend, apparently. It was just -2 outside a couple days ago. So we're all kind of just figuring it out. We're all just kind of returning back to some sense of a normalcy, if that's even possible, in Minnesota. But I mean, we cover things across the country. I go wherever the news is, wherever the story is. So that will continue wherever that might be. So I appreciate everybody that supported, for the past few months, and people that have stuck with it, no matter what I'm covering. What up, Vicky? What up? What up? So the big drama from yesterday going into today and this morning was the attack on the gas field, where the United States and Donald Trump put out a Truth Social last night at 9:00 saying that, hey, this wasn't us. We didn't do that. Israel did it. Israel did it. And then Israel was like, we did it together, right? We did it together, remember? All right. So Donald Trump put out 9:00. We'll just go in order. Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field and an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran, but if Qatar's LNG is attacked again, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Okay, so we're ruling by Truth Social. I love that. Social media posts for geopolitics. I mean, why actually do things IRL when you can just put out a social media post now? And that's your diplomacy. That's what we got now. Social media posts. So all that is lies, obviously, and then quickly tries to come to the defense of Israel right away. Israel, out of anger, their emotions. So then now 6 hours ago, Israel says that the U.S. did help coordinate the gas field attack, despite Trump's claim that he knew nothing about it. Same guy who claims he doesn't know anything about anything. And then his cult base eats it up. I don't know nothing about Project 2025. What is that? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. That's like their favorite. Well, we've just heard from Pete Hegseth. We haven't yet, but we're going to. He reiterated the claim from Donald Trump that the U.S. president knew nothing about the attack on Iran's South Pars gas field. However, Reuters is reporting that Israel says its attack on the gas facilities was coordinated with the United States. Oh, boy. Israel has not publicly acknowledged responsibility for the South Pars attack. On Wednesday night, Trump said in a social media post that Washington knew nothing about this particular attack and that Israel would not attack the gas field further unless Iran again attacked Qatar. The 3 Israeli officials who spoke to Reuters on condition of anonymity said that Israel was not surprised by Trump's comments. They described the dynamic as similar to one that played out after Israel struck fuel depots in Iran a few weeks ago. After those attacks, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth said that in particular case, those weren't our strikes. Okay, so you got, because do you know why? Do you know why it's getting back and forthy now? Because the base, I've told you guys, MAGA is vibes. It's populism. It's like what the crowd says, and right now the crowd is saying, Israel, nope, we're not doing that. And I'm not lying to you. When it's both sides are aligned on this, of like the left and the right in the United States. Okay, people do not want to support Middle Eastern wars for Israel, and the people that do are fucking losers. That's just what it is, and it's like a very small minority of people that want to continue war in the Middle East for Israel's territorial expansion goals in the future, but also the expansion of Zionism. People don't want to do that, and like Americans go and fight and die. We have bases in the Middle East to protect shipping lanes and, you know, just kind of be a deterrent to any potential threats. Like that's going to happen. But bombing Tehran put all of those bases at jeopardy and nothing else. Like, yeah, we have troops over there. If we had, I'm telling you right now, if there was Russian bases around the United States, I'd hope that they would be getting hit for putting it into perspective here. If we had Russian military bases around the United States and fucking around the place, I wouldn't feel bad if one of those got blown up. You know what I mean? So like, put it into perspective when you're like, well, our bases, yeah, they're there for reasons, a lot to help Israel and protect Israel. But the soldiers that are there would not be at risk of getting hit, especially in Kuwait, for crying out loud. Especially in Kuwait. There's a swim. I showed you guys the base I was at. Personally, there's a swimming pool. There's turf. We played flag football, softball. Like, come on. We're not, no one's wearing vests because it's like basically just a hot duty station. It's like 136 degrees and it's like a regular duty station. Like, you're just in the Middle East, right? But now because of the bombing of Tehran and the war with Iran in general, now all those soldiers in Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, they're all getting hit on a daily basis now with drones, missiles. Apparently an F-35 was hit, which we still have to, obviously with this type of combat video. The one thing about like with Ukraine's combat video is like it's all coming from drone feeds. It's all clear pretty much. Like the amount of combat video from Ukraine has been pretty transparent in most ways. But it's really tough with the the war footage is not good at all when it comes to the Middle East. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, released a statement accompanied by video footage which claims to show the targeting of an American F-35. So this potentially is a F-35 getting hit with a IRGC rocket. The claim by the IRGC follows reports that an F-35 was damaged and forced to make an emergency landing at an airbase in the Middle East due to hostile fire over Iran. So, I mean, it's like every day they wanted to, it's going to be a lightning round. Lightning, we're going to go into Iran, we're going to bomb them, and all done every day. Damn, dude. Damn, man, Iran's got hands. Damn, I thought this was going to be fast. It's not, and it never was. That's why politicians on both sides of the aisle of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party have consistently advocated against going to war with Iran because of the reason that we're living through right now. And especially to have somebody at the helm like Donald fucking Trump and his administration doing it. We are so cooked. All right, well, here's our Secretary of Alcohol, Pete Hegseth, giving an update on the situation. And then also the general for story time, because he does nothing but give stories.
Well, good morning. Yesterday at Dover Air Force Base, President Trump, the chairman, and I stood in solemn silence as heroes came home.
Wow.
Flag-draped caskets. We honored them. We grieved with their families, and we listened. What I heard through tears, through hugs, through strength, and through unbreakable resolve was the same from
Why are you looking into the fucking camera?
Family after family. They said, finish this.
You know, he knows how to be a TV person. Finish this, my ass. My fucking ass. Lying. Liar. Lying. You know what? The people that lose people in the service like this don't usually speak. Nope. They're like, it's just, they're given a flag. They're not like, they don't want to do media interviews. They don't want nothing to do with that. They're mourning. They lost a family member in the military there. And yeah, none of that. This is horseshit. This is propaganda right here.
And through unbreakable resolve was the same from family after family. They said, finish this.
Whatever.
Honor their sacrifice. Do not waver.
Sacrifice for who, honestly, or what?
Do not stop.
Don't let them fool you. Okay, somebody that served in the military for 10 years, all this like they're going over to fight for our freedom. Nope. No, they're not. I'm sorry. You know who fought last time we had freedom fight was like probably World War II. Just being honest, like preserving Europe from Nazi occupation. That, or like if we were actually able to like help Ukraine, like actually, and not play around, that would be examples of like fighting for freedom, not imperial wars for Israel. That's not fighting for freedom. You're not preserving freedom. You're driving up the prices for Americans. The cost of oil is going up. The price of people can't afford shit. How is that you feel safe? And plus we already spend 600. How much do we spend on the fucking military in general? What is DOD budget? Like 600, 1.5 trillion. 25, 26 to 2027 plan could include $1 trillion. Base budget, another 450 billion. So, I mean, we already pay enough in taxpayer money to fund the military that gets 1.5 trillion in spending to protect us and keep us safe. Putting our troops in harm's way intentionally for another country that wants to expand their own goals and it does nothing for Americans is not it, and it doesn't preserve freedom. Like, in general, yes, you're going to give the respect of like people that serve, and they're going to put the uniform on and go out and do that, and they're going to wear the American flag. They're a representative of the country when they serve. When you have a soldier or a Marine or anyone and they're serving, they are a representative of the United States of America, like in one of the most ways possible. It sucks right now because they're bombing kids in Tehran, but like when you put the uniform on, you're like you're a representative of the country, especially when you go overseas. So when you have this war of choice and Americans did not back this war, you can't argue that it's for freedom and for a sacrifice for us. It's not a sacrifice for Americans. Americans didn't ask to go. Iran didn't like bomb the fuck out of the United States and kill a bunch of American citizens and like, oh, we got to go get them back. Through hypnosis and bullshit, you got to like twist yourself and go back like 4 decades and like, oh, the hostage crisis that happened before the majority of the country was even alive at this point now, or the other dumb shit reasons that Donald Trump and this administration will give. Okay, going and fighting and like just and serving your country is honorable. Serving the country, doing something more than yourself, I think is very honorable to do. But to make the argument that the current war in Iran is like for your freedom is absolutely clown shit. And if anything, they sold us that lie for the war in the Middle East. We're still in the middle. I'm talking about the war on terror. They sold us that lie for the war on terror for 2 decades. It's bullshit.
Until the job is done. My response, along with that of the president, was simple. Of course, we will finish this. We will honor their sacrifice. Their sacrifice only steals our commitment. I wear this bracelet. Staff Sergeant Jorge Oliveira, he was one of my sergeants, or one of my specialists in Guantanamo Bay. He deployed later to Afghanistan, where he was killed on 19 October 2011. Killed 10 years after 9/11, 15 years ago. He was one of the 1%, the best of America.
Okay.
Not just a guardsman, but a law enforcement officer back home and a family man. I remember him every day. just like so many other men and women of our generation and previous generations who wear bracelets like this.
Oh my God. He's trying to appeal to the emotion of like if you served and you had a buddy that was killed and you got that on now, and like that's supposed to like be the reason why like hard charging into Iran is valid for you. That's insane. Especially like the people that lost their lives and people that wear bracelets, the soldiers that wear bracelets. A lot of times those cities are now taken back by ISIS or other terror proxy groups. So like they fought and died, and then we did hearts and minds for like a few months or whatever, and then it, like fucked off, and then nothing. So it's like, what are we talking about?
Just as we will always remember those lost in this conflict, their names are now etched into our mission.
That's so
and
sick.
into the soul of a grateful nation.
And that's the soul. That's why our soul is cursed. America's cursed at this.
I stand here today speaking to you, the American people.
Oh boy, he's speaking to you guys.
Not through filters.
No filter.
Not through reporters.
No filter.
Not through cable news spin.
Right. No spin.
A dishonest and
Facts only.
anti-Trump press will stop at nothing. We know this at this point. To downplay progress,
Wow.
amplify every cost,
Wow.
and call into question every step.
Call every cost. Yeah, because Americans did not vote for a war in the Middle East again. They specifically, the morons that decided to vote for Trump, because yes, you are a fucking moron. The ones that decided to thought he was some anti-war candidate. And like he was like going to stop the wars and bring grocery prices down and all this other lies that he said.
Sadly, TDS
TDS.
is in their DNA.
Up DNA. TDS and the DNA. Got it.
They want President Trump to fail.
Right.
But you,
No, I'd rather him like not be president, but for sure.
the American people, know better.
Right. We know better, guys.
Yes, there are reporters in front of me, but they are not our audience
Oh,
today.
really? That's why you're looking at the camera. All right. Now, thank you for answering that for me.
It's you, the good, decent, patriotic American people.
Yeah, you don't need journalists, those wokies sitting in front of me. They're just going to lie to you. You hear it directly from me.
You, the hardworking, tax-paying, God-fearing American patriots.
Yeah, taxpayers, like the ones that are now funding war with Iran that they all paid, that they all signed up for, right? How's that going?
The media here, not all of it, but much of it, wants you to think just 19 days into this conflict that we're somehow spinning toward an endless abyss.
The media isn't telling you that. You, as an American, if you've been alive since 9/11, and if you're not like a young kid, but even then, if you're, I don't know, I was young. I was in 3rd grade during 9/11. I'm old now, but I don't know. Many generations are still alive after 9/11 here. We haven't left that, like the war. We just pulled out of Afghanistan in 2021, right? That was like what, 5 years ago, and the war started when I was in 3rd grade. So that's why. That's why people are like thinking that, because we lived that. We just had that. It just happened.
Or a forever war, or a quagmire. Nothing could be further from the truth. Hear it from me,
From Pete.
one of hundreds of thousands who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, who watched previous foolish politicians.
No, don't hear it from him. Guard, but anyway, I respect guard soldiers, but like, and also he became a corporate media talking head. Like he was a right-wing commentator advocating for war while he was a commentator.
Like Bush, Obama, and Biden squander American credibility. This is not those wars. President Trump knows better.
He knows better. He's got a steady hand at the wheel.
Epic Fury is different.
Epic
It's
Chungus.
laser focused. It's
Laser.
decisive. Our objectives, given directly from our America First president, remain exactly what they were on day one.
Which again, day one, which they didn't. This is all dressing it up and making it real for you. The day one was like you woke up and like found out we bombed Tehran. That's what day one was. Who put a one in the chat if you were up during the live feed with like the breaking news of it? But majority of the country woke up to like, oh, we're at war with Iran now. So like, what do you mean day one? You didn't even like sell it to the American people. You're doing it after the fact.
These are not.
And the goal. And then how is this America first at all? How is this America first at all? Like, period. Like, even if you're trying to be, like, this is like not
the media's objectives.
the media.
Not Iran's objectives, not new objectives, our objectives. Unchanged, on target, and on plan. Destroy missiles, launchers, and Iran's defense industrial base so they cannot rebuild. Destroy their navy, and Iran never gets a nuclear weapon.
Notice how it always changes. Last year it was we bombed their facilities, so no more nuclear weapon. Epic, what was it? Midnight Hammer. We dropped the hammer at midnight, and then now they got Operation Epic Fortnite Chungus. And it's like, oh, we had to destroy all their airfields, we had to destroy their oil reserves, you had to destroy their navy, you had to destroy their air force, you got to destroy, and then they can't have a nuke, okay? And then it's gonna be guys, hold on, sorry, we had to invade, we had to send the Marines, okay? They were gonna get a nuke, they were days away, right? We have to send the military and like invade Iran actually, okay? Otherwise they're gonna get a nuke.
Our objectives from day one. To the patriotic members of the press, nobody can deliver perfection in wartime. This building knows that more than anyone. But
wow, nobody can ever deliver perfection in wartime. What a profound statement. What a profound statement from the Secretary of War Crimes.
report the reality.
The reality.
We're winning.
We're winning.
Decisively.
Winning.
And on our terms.
Sure feels that way. It sure feels like we're like winning is happening. Definitely.
Iran is a vast country, and just like Hamas and their tunnels, they've poured any aid, any economic development, humanitarian aid into tunnels and rockets. That's what they did with Hamas. Iran has funneled decades of state resources, not to their people, but into missiles and drones and proxies and buried facilities.
$1.5 trillion in defense spending. How much should the American people get? 1.5 trillion. We have bases pretty close to like rural areas in the United States. Like if like a base was hit in the US, it probably the town that's like literally attached to it, because there's like a relatively like sizable city, if not major city, next to every US military base. Oh man, dude, that would why would someone do that? How the heck? How dare a country put more money into their military than their own people? Who would do that? Wow.
But we are hunting them down methodically, ruthlessly, and overwhelmingly, like no other military in the world can do, and the results speak for themselves. To date, we've struck over 7,000 targets across Iran and its military infrastructure. That is not incremental. That is overwhelming force applied with precision. And again, today will be the largest strike package yet, just like yesterday was. As I've said from day one, our capabilities continue to build, Iran's continue to degrade. We're hunting and striking death and destruction from.
Jesus Christ. Man, I wish Trump voters had the foresight, because all of this was going to happen. All of this was going to be a thing. No new wars. 2 years later.
As I've said from day one, our capabilities continue to build, Iran's continue to degrade. We're hunting and striking death and destruction from above.
Death and destruction, hunting and striking. No new wars. That's woke. We don't do that no more. We just said that.
Iran's air defenses flattened. Iran's defense industrial base, the factories, the production lines that feed their missile and drone programs, being overwhelmingly destroyed. We've hit hundreds of their defense industrial bases directly. Their ability to manufacture new ballistic missiles has probably taken the hardest hit of all. Ballistic missile attacks against our forces, down 90% since the start of the conflict. Same with one-way attack UAVs. Think kamikaze drones, down 90%. Now, the Iranians will still shoot, we know that, but they would shoot a lot more if they could. But they can't.
They can't.
The last job anyone in the world wants right now? Senior leader for the IRGC, or Besiege. Temp jobs.
Wow, temp
All
jobs.
of them.
Wow.
And to borrow a page from Admiral Ernest King in World War II, we've decided to share the ocean with Iran. We've given them the bottom half. We've damaged or sunk over 120 of their Navy ships, with battle damage assessments pending for many more. See, oftentimes we have to wait a few days on battle damage assessment to get the real number. Their surface fleet is no longer a factor. Their submarines, they once had 11, are gone. Their military ports are crippled. Iran has terrorized the
If you don't know, this is a classic Republican thing, because Bush also like declared major combat victory on May 1st, 2003, and I vividly remember this as a kid watching this on TV. I remember this, so that's why I'll just, and obviously, 2003, was it accomplished? Did we end it? Was the war over after 2 years? Which still, that was 2 years. Almost two full years. Did we win? Pete Hegseth is doing mission accomplished Bush shit, but like talking directly into the camera and trying to be Chad doing it.
United States and our interests for 47 years. Their core industries, not steel or agriculture, or tourism. Their core industries are state-sponsored terrorism, proxy militias, underground networks, ballistic missiles, and a violent, messianic, Islamist ideology chasing some sort of apocalyptic endgame. A regime like that, refusing to abandon its nuclear ambitions, is not just a regional problem. It's a direct threat to America, to freedom, and to civilization.
Okay, ChatGPT.
The world.
Once you use AI, you can hear it and see it everywhere. Once you use it to, you see it write things. That was an AI written statement there for sure.
The Middle East, our ungrateful allies in Europe, even segments of our own press should be saying one thing to President Trump. Thank you. Thank you for the courage to stop this terror state from holding the world hostage with missiles while building or attempting to build a nuclear bomb. Thank you for doing the work of the free world. Yesterday's ceremony reminded us why we fight. Not for nation building or democracy promotion, but to crush direct threats to America, Americans, and our interests.
We have zero credible threats to America from Iran. Nope. Zero credible threats in which, like, we needed to bomb the capital city of Tehran and literally go to full scale war damn near. Like, we just haven't sent the troops yet. That's the only thing that's missing with Iran because of an imminent threat. We have none. Nope. Nope. Not happening.
We fight to win, and we are winning on our terms, following our objectives. My 13-year-old son popped into my office last night while I was editing these remarks. He asked about the war.
What do you say?
And the families I met at Dover.
Right. This never happened, by the way, but let's hear it.
And I looked at him and I said,
"My son,
they died for you, son." And I looked at him and I said, they died for you, son, so that your generation doesn't have to deal with a nuclear Iran.
That's what they said about Iraq. That's what they told my generation that's what they told the millennials before we got into 20 years of war in the Middle East. The same exact shit. That is Republican Fox News. They gotta fight, so they gotta preserve the freedom of the generations. We're not doing that. Nope. That's not what this is. We're not preserving if anything, you're burdening future generations with cost of living and likely security, because Iran's going to respond, and they're going to keep doing it. And honestly, probably going to jeopardize security of like American. They don't want the biggest reason why Americans don't move on anything unless it affects our pockets or our fucking gas prices, because we haven't gone through shit besides that, besides just struggling to pay bills. Right? I'm not saying like you guys don't struggle individually with like your daily, maybe some whatever. You guys have struggles. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we haven't had we had 9/11, okay? Pearl Harbor, right? But like in Europe and other countries, they've had full-scale war fought on their land. So, and they know what like war is like, and how it affects like just bombing kids, for example. Like why after the United States found out we bombed the fuck out of kids in Tehran, or Trump and Epstein connections with the kids there. So they're either taking kids to a pedophile island or they're bombing them. And in America, because we've not gone through shit actually seriously, like in our own country, Americans don't care. That's why, because it doesn't affect our pockets and it doesn't affect our gas prices, because it's over there. It's over there. We don't have shit. We're not getting bombed. Americans aren't getting ballistic missile attacks. We're not getting drone attacks on our country. It happens other places, and then the government and the DOD will like hypnosis that into like, oh, well, that's going to come here too if we don't support bombing Iran for Israel. So you got to do it. Otherwise, you're going to get bombed. But even though we don't ever, that's why Americans have such a fucked brain on shit, because and I don't want us to go through that either. I'm not saying we should have something terrible happen for us to come to our senses. It's just sad that that's likely what it would take. It's just very sad that it's just not like, damn, this is so fucked. Like, this is really bad. We've already bombed a school. Nope. Nah. It was necessary. We got the Hamas and something. Israel's scared. So you gotta keep doing it.
It's the truth.
And then this is lies. This is just absolute horseshit from Pete Hegseth, making up a story. This is what they think about soldiers too. Lie, make up stories, say that they're, and like I had to stop texting my family about it. There was a time in which, because my family is pretty MAGA, I wanted them to take away the soldier and the cross that they put next to my fucking window. I didn't want them to have any type of military paraphernalia. Like, I don't want them to. I've changed now. I'm calmed down a little bit now on it. But like I was like, yo, take that. I don't want that. I don't even want you to claim that you have a son that served in the military, of like how you guys fucking act and like what you're supporting. It's embarrassing. You guys haven't gone through. And I'm just like, not that my like people haven't struggled to pay bills. That's what we have to struggle in America. You have to pay. You have to work 7 jobs to afford shit. That's what the struggle is. But like when it comes to existential issues, or like just the simple act of being bombed, Americans don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have a care for that, unless some do. Some have empathy. Some Americans are able to just see something happening in another part of the world and say, that's fucked up, that's bad. Most Americans do not, unfortunately, because we haven't had shit happen to us. Don't know what that's like. I don't know. That's over there. I got to pay bills, my taxes, my son, my daughter, my wife, my husband. That's like bills, money. That's what keeps Americans like locked in on not much else other than your just daily life, because you have so much to do to pay for your life to live. And it's like, I'm not blaming them. Like, it's both Americans' fault and also just the system that we live in, of like money first, nothing else matters basically when it comes to American psychosis on like why this is happening.
At Dover, and I looked at him.
Yeah, my truck, my fish, my beer. Oh, hold on. What is it? I want to catch, what is it? I want to catch my fish. Yeah, that's what they want to do. Lee Bryce. I just want to catch my fish, drink a beer.
Drink my beer.
All right, this is what Americans want to do. All right. Oh yeah, want to go sit and play acoustic guitar in a field?
I I just wanna catch my fish,
Right.
drive my truck, drink my beer.
All right, and I don't want to hear about none of that shit. Don't tell me about that.
Wake up,
Nope.
see all this stuff I don't wanna hear.
Don't want it. Don't. Nope. It yucks my yum. Nope. It's bad vibes. Bad vibes. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Nope. Just want to catch my fish and drink a beer and drive my truck and play my guitar in the field. That's America.
And I said, they died for you, son, so that your generation doesn't have to deal with a nuclear Iran. It's the truth. And they did. So to the families who said, finish this, we will. And I say the same to every American who wants peace through strength. May Almighty God continue to bless our troops in this fight. And again, to the American people, please pray for them. Every day, on bended knee, with your family, in your schools, in your churches, in the name of Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
To the troops, keep going, and Godspeed. Over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and thank you all for being here. I also had the honor yesterday, as the Secretary said, of traveling up to Dover with the President to welcome home our six fallen. It was an honor and a privilege for me to be there and to say thank you to their families, and I want to mention their names this morning. From the 6th Aerial Refueling Wing out of MacDill Air Force Base, Florida, but stationed as part of an active associate unit at Birmingham, Alabama, Major Alex Klenner, John Alex Klenner, Major Ariana Savino, she was posthumously promoted from captain to major, and Technical Sergeant Ashley Pruitt, the boom operator on that crew. From the 121st Aerial Fueling Ring, Ohio Air National Guard out of Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base in Columbus, Ohio, Captain Seth Koval, Captain Curtis Ankt, and now Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons, who was also promoted in the boom operator on that crew. To a person and every family member I spoke with yesterday, they all shared that their family members loved serving, they loved being part of a great team and a crew, and they loved airplanes and aviation. Our nation's tanker crews really are unsung heroes, incredible warriors who put their lives on the line so we can continue to take the fight to an enemy. I've personally witnessed their courage and tenacity many times, from the morning of September 11th, where they answered my call for some help, to the skies over foreign countries where they've come forward out of their safe tanker track to give me gas when I simply could not leave a ground force that was engaged in a firefight. They've answered the call and come forward time and time and time again. I'm filled with incredible pride and gratitude for all that the tanker crews do, our pilots, our boom operators, and the maintainers. And to the families of our six fallen, know that we share your grief. Our nation will never forget their sacrifice, and we will never forget their names.
No, we do. Wrong. No, we forget. We forget. No, because we're going to just do another war again. We forgot all the 9/11. We forgot all the, we forgot all the War on Terror veterans that served and died for that, which ended in fucking nothing. Ended in nothing. Afghanistan, Iraq, nothing. Nope. Did all that for 20 years. Zero. Bin Laden was taken out, but that happened in 2011. I was at a Gabriel Iglesias comedy show, and when and Martine came out, if you guys know Gabriel Iglesias, Martine came out and told us while we were watching him in Duluth. We went up to go see a show in Duluth, Minnesota, and watch him perform. And Martine came out and told us that Bin Laden was killed. And like everybody in the audience was on their phone, and we were like, well, it was like the whole audience was just, I had so many text messages on my flip phone. I had a flip phone. Everyone was just talking about Bin Laden was dead. He's dead, 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 dead. Oh, we ended up staying there for another 10 years. And nothing, zero, nothing happened after that.
Entire
just more death and debt. Death and debt.
Joint Force mourns with you today, and will continue to remember their incredible gift of a great example for all of us. Now let me turn to an operations update. U.S. CENTCOM remains on plan to achieve our military objectives and remain unrelenting in our pursuit of Iranian missile capabilities, UAV capabilities, and their Navy, and as the Secretary said, their industrial base. Each day we continue to attack deeper into Iranian territory. As reported by U.S. Central Command yesterday, the U.S. military dropped 5,000-pound penetrator weapons into underground storage facilities, storing coastal defense cruise missiles and other support equipment. These weapons are bespokely designed to get through concrete and/or rocks and function after penetrating those barriers. We continue to hunt and kill mine storage facilities and naval ammunition depots. We continue to hunt and kill afloat assets, including more than 120 vessels and 44 mine layers, and the pressure will continue. We're flying further to the east now and penetrating deeper into Iranian airspace to hunt and kill one-way attack garrisons, destroying Iran's ability to project power outside of its borders. The A-10 Warthog is now in the fight across the southern flank and is hunting and killing fast attack watercraft in the Straits of Hormuz. In addition, AH-64 Apaches have joined the fight on the southern flank, and they continue to work on the southern side, and that includes some of our allies who are using Apaches to handle one-way attack drones.
Wait, which allies?
In Iraq, AH-64s have been striking against Iranian-aligned militia groups to make sure that we suppress any threat in Iraq against U.S.
So we're using as much of our air power as possible.
Forces or U.S.
They even have the A-10 Warthog in the sky, he said, which is the one, that's that one.
Interests. And we remain focused on pursuit of any platform that Iran could field to harm Americans or our partners. Last Friday, Admiral Cooper and the CENTCOM team conducted precision strikes against more than 90 targets on Karg Island, which included all of their military-only infrastructure, which included air defenses, naval base, mine storage, and deployment facilities. And as the Secretary mentioned, we continue to strike against Iran's defense industrial base and will continue to do so. Today, I want to continue my theme of talking about members of our incredible joint force. Today, I want to talk about some exceptional airmen who are engaged in the fight daily. The United States.
Nope, I don't. Nope, don't care. Sorry, don't care. Nope, that's not honorable to me. I don't
fueling after
none of the like I respect the person that serves and say thank you for your service, but the conflict, and I don't care. Don't want to hear about it in terms of like this is the great work that they're
brave men and women
great work aren't happening right now.
CENTCOM, SpaceCom, CyberCom,
Nope. Don't give a fuck. Next.
Prove worthy of their sacrifice, and I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Take a couple questions. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Given the updated degradation in strike target numbers you laid out, how close would you say we are towards achieving the President's objectives, and what is the end game of the operation without divulging any sensitive battle plans?
Well, we wouldn't want to set a definitive time frame on that, but as we've said, we're on plan. So we're looking at those metrics very closely, relaying that to the President and the National Security team, but feel confident that as, again, we're more stand in means we're over the top, even further in, and we have even more of an exact sense of what we're striking and why, and even more dynamically, meaning because the intelligence improves, we're able to more quickly identify targets when they, let's say they come out of an underground facility where they've been hiding and able to strike it before it strikes or right after it shoots. But we're very much on plan, and that's why I want to speak to the American people here. You hear a lot of noise about widening or new missions or speculation about what we should or should not be doing. This is a clear set of objectives. The President has given us every capability we need to accomplish that. We've got the best in the world in uniform executing it on the ground. They believe in and are invested in this mission, and it will be at the President's choosing, ultimately, where we say, hey, we've achieved what we need to on behalf of the American people to ensure our security. So no time set on that, but we're very much on track. Absolutely. Yes, right here.
What are the goals? Like just obliterate Iran? Just say it. Why don't we just say it? Just obliterate Iran and occupy it. Why don't you just say that?
Good morning, Mr. Secretary. David Zier, Real America's Voice News. What countries have been the most cooperative with us, including the Gulf states, as Europe hedges? And I also wanted to ask you, the internet blackouts by the regime, it's been shut down for weeks. Is the U.S. military playing a role in, fighting against the regime, blocking VPN networks and satellites and other things? Is there a role for the U.S. military there?
Obviously, on the allies and partners side, Israel from day one has been an incredible and capable partner, willing and able. There's nothing like capabilities and
my Israel
partners that are able to use them. The Gulf states have stepped up incredibly. In fact, Iran's sort of reckless.
We have nobody. It's the region. It's the region that has to. And if you're those Middle Eastern countries, I'm sure you're siding with the U.S. because it's like in between.
This attempt to strike civilian infrastructure and other things has brought countries who maybe would have not been as all in as they are today squarely into our orbit. And we're proud to be defending with them, standing with them, you name it. UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and others. Who
Wow, Saudi Arabia, incredible partner.
Right there. And we're grateful for that kind of support.
The new NATO. The America's new friends. UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Wow.
As far as the internet, we're watching the regime try to tighten its grip as much as possible. And we're obviously taking countermeasures.
MAGA, they do Islam there. They do Islam stuff there. So you can't be racist now. The government's saying that's our allies. So I'm just being honest with you.
Many of which we can't talk about here, to ensure that messaging is delivered, not just to the Iranian people writ large, but to the right audiences, certain audiences that need to hear certain things about what their fate might look like or what their choices are.
Trump already proved he doesn't give a fuck about radical anything, but especially Islam, I guess. When we worked out a deal with the Taliban himself, leading to the pullout of Afghanistan. Trump will work with the worst of the worst. Doesn't matter if he's getting something out of it. So all that, the Islamic terror regime, that's neocon Republican bullshit. Honestly, that's a trope. If anything, you just watch this, our Secretary of War ask or demand you to get on your fucking knees and praise Jesus while we're watching a Department of War, or whatever it's called now, a briefing about the situation. So I don't want to hear about no other religious extremists when we have our own religious extremists in the U.S.
So even though that regime is trying really hard to ensure the world can't see, right? They want to put out fake AI generated images, which, by the way, sometimes our press happens to fall for, like the Abraham Lincoln on fire and turning around. These
or the government itself putting out AI generated content like every day on its social media platforms. Like when they put Nikema Levy Armstrong's face as if she was crying, and DHS is posting AI generated horseshit every day. What are you talking about? Liar, hypocrite.
Sometimes can't see, right? They want to put out fake AI generated images, which, by the way, sometimes our press happens to fall for, like the Abraham Lincoln on fire and turning around. These AI generated images are meant to make it look like something's happening when the exact opposite is. So they make up fake reports and fake images to lie to their own people, to try to make it, but even then, their own people can barely receive a lot of those messages and communicate because of the blackout that they've imposed upon them.
Sounds weird, doesn't it? Why would they be using AI generated images to dupe and deceive their people, but their people can't use the fucking internet? That's weird. That's a conundrum. How does that work, Pete Hegseth? Wow, you're able to dress that up, though. You're able to talk through that because you're a lying propagandist from Fox News, so you know how to do that. But they're both somehow are getting duped by AI, but also not seeing it. That's crazy.
Exact opposite is. So they make up fake reports and fake images to lie to their own people, to try to make it, but even then, their own people can barely receive a lot of those messages and communicate because of the blackout that they've imposed upon them. But we work around.
So then what is the effectiveness of this AI generated content then? If how many people is it reaching?
For sure.
Yeah, can we get a follow-up serious question? No?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. General, overnight, Iran launched missiles across the Gulf. They managed to hit the Saudi oil refinery on the Red Sea. What does it mean that they have that capability now, 3 weeks into the war? And Mr. Secretary, you mentioned civilian infrastructure. Iran seems to be treating U.S. diplomatic outposts, embassies, consulates like they are legitimate hard targets in the region now. What is the Pentagon doing to, I guess, secure those assets, stop those attacks?
Absolutely.
Thanks for the question on the missile strikes. You know, as we said and have always said clearly, they came into this fight with a lot of weapons. This is why we continue to be as aggressive and assertive as we can.
They came into the fight with lots of weapons because they have them, and they're a major country that has conventional stuff, and we're not fighting dudes in sandals and t-shirts anymore. That's why. And they wouldn't be coming with all this if we didn't bomb them.
can against their ballistic missile capability, both their medium-range ballistic missile capability and their short-range missile capability. So we are continuing to hunt and find them and kill them, and we will continue to do so. So they still retain some capability. And we have layered defenses throughout the region that will allow us to protect those, and we're working with our partners.
The amount of death, we lost a good amount of soldiers in the war on terror. We're probably gonna see those numbers from the 20 years in like the first year, at least, from like if we do a ground invasion of Iran
across the Gulf region to help them improve any defensive capabilities that they may need.
To that point on capabilities, Iran's an energy-rich country, could be, should be. Instead, like so many other places driven by radical ideology, they've spent that money instead of investing in their people. That's why you had millions of Iranians protesting. It's because they felt like their quality of life didn't match what it could be or should be. And what was the Iranian state? There's a reason we call Iran the #1 state sponsor of terrorism, because they took the money they make and they invest it in tunnels, and they invested in missiles, and they invested in launchers and UAVs, and we are destroying and degrading that in historic proportions. But it doesn't mean they won't still have some and try to hold people at issue, which is why we're fighting every single day to continue to compel. And you mentioned embassies and consulates. Unlike previous administrations, we are doubling and tripling down on ensuring that our people, regardless of their Department of War, Department of State, whatever they do, are secure in those facilities. And the best defense is a good offense. And so we're not afraid to go after and kill anybody, and we have a lot of them attempting to target our diplomatic facilities. Iran, we're not surprised that they would indiscriminately target, and we're still seeing that. Jerry.
As part of the justification for the war against Iran, the White House has laid out in fairly comprehensive fashion the Iranian regime's 47 years of terrorism aimed at the U.S., including pointing to the IRGC's provision of weapons and EFPs to help kill Americans in Iraq. The Pentagon in 2019 assessed Iran was responsible for the deaths of at least 603 service members in Iraq, but there hasn't been a similar public accounting by Iran's role helping the Taliban in Afghanistan. And that also hasn't been part of the White House's public argument. I was wondering if you...
It would be one thing if we were seeing terror attacks in the U.S., and which is probably what they're going to do next. Just do this until Iran responds and starts striking us directly, or at least trying to, because we have defense. But unfortunately it's our soldiers in Iraq, and you got to aura farm that, and be like, oh, we're losing soldiers in Iraq. Americans, look at what's happening. We're losing Americans. The Americans are dying. They're soldiers, and they're in Iraq. That's why. And we continue to, and missiles keep going back and forth between Iranian proxies and Israel, and we're helping Israel. So those proxies are striking our bases too, and Americans die during that, obviously. But it's not as if there's our city centers and our citizens are just being destroyed by Iran on a regular basis, to where, oh yeah, that's justified. We got to get revenge. This is revenge. No, it's not.
You could speak to Iran's role in helping the Taliban during the war in Afghanistan. And Chairman, as you and the Secretary eloquently spoke about, 13 U.S. service members have been killed so far during Operation Epic Fury. I was wondering what lessons have been learned from those deaths, both from Iranian strikes, from an aircraft refueling accident. How are those lessons being applied to the current conflict?
We don't learn lessons.
How are those lessons going to be applied to
we teach lessons.
Conflict in Indo-Pacific?
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the question. And it's true. In a town that can have a very short memory, President Trump does not. He remembers what this Iranian regime was founded on, what their declaration has been from the beginning: death to America, death to Israel. Right. They've stated that. They've intended to, in every way, try to accomplish that, killing Americans in any theater they can, embassies for quite a long time. In Iraq, that was the deadliest weapon, was the EFP, the explosively formed penetrator. I was there when that tactic and technique started to emerge, and the realization was it wasn't just...
Remember, we're in Iraq based on a lie, too. So let's pull it back. Let's pull it back even. We're in Iraq based on a fucking lie. And then we're there because of lies. And then I don't care. I'm sorry. So I hope the best for the people that serve and my brothers and sisters in uniform, and Godspeed to you. God fucking speed to you. But to expect the American people to as if that's our problem, actually, except for our soldiers getting sent, that's bad. I don't want our soldiers to go get killed. But it's not a threat to American society, other than us putting ourselves in that situation.
Jihadis putting together 155 rounds, daisy-chained. It was an entire state, a country with its apparatus able to mold steel in a way specifically designed to penetrate American armor and kill Americans. This was not, maybe we send them a couple of thoughts about how to build a bomb. This was Iran specifically passing technology and wherewithal and personnel into Iraq to kill Americans specifically. I know the number is said to be 600. A lot of us think it's higher than that, given the amount of capability they.
I have it on speed. I wish I could put it at 2 times. I can listen to it at 2 times speed, but a lot of you guys can't.
Brought in, so they have been at war with us, whether we acknowledge it.
Most people talk too slow for me.
Or not, for 47 years. The same goes in Afghanistan. Name the Islamist enemy.
I'd be finishing people's sentences all the time, and I got to stop because I know what they're about to say before they say it.
Whether they are Sunni or Shia, because this is a Shia regime, Sunni or Shia, and Iran's been willing to harbor them as long as that group is willing to try to kill Americans. So the enemy of their enemy has been their friend as well in the Islamist world. So Iran, whether it's Iraq, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's around the world, has been targeting Americans. And what they wanted in this context, and what President Trump would not tolerate, is a regime of that nature being closer and closer to nuclear capabilities, a capability they would have said they would want to use, and we ought to believe what our enemies say they would do if they got the most dangerous weapon in the world. So it's been across every theater that Iran's been a threat to America, and sometimes we have to remind
every theater
folks of that, but thank goodness we have a commander-in-chief who...
What theater beyond CENTCOM and... Oh, we don't have a theater in Ukraine. I mean, we're done helping that, and Russians did use Shahed drones. They still are, but like they're doing it themselves. What other theaters besides CENTCOM always?
On behalf of this country, has internalized that and said, hey, we're going to do something about it.
Cherry, I do want to talk about the lessons learned question because it's important to me. I won't share particular tactical lessons, and the KC-135 incident is under investigation. But I do want to talk about how I think about this and how we think about it. And this is something that I'm pretty passionate about. I believe the Joint Force has to be a very fast learning organization. Early, often, and always.
Yeah, we learned so fast that we went into the war in the Middle East again. We're so good at learning. We did it for 21 years, and then we're doing it again now because we learned our lesson. Like when Trump was president, and then he launched an insurrection at the U.S. Capitol building to try to keep himself in power. And do you know what America did? Elected him again because we're so good at learning. We're really good at learning lessons in America, for sure.
And so in each case, both at the strategic, operational, and tactical level, we've charged the Joint Force to look at themselves and say, what was our plan? Well, first, did we have a plan? Yes or no? The answer is always yes, because we plan for literally everything. Did we execute our plan? Yes or no? If we did it work? If not, why not? If we didn't execute our plan but did something better, what's the lesson learned associated with that? And then how do we quickly capture those lessons after every loss or every engagement and quickly adopt those lessons and then share them across the entirety of the Joint Force? And inside the Joint Staff, we've tasked our J7 Directorate under the lead of Lieutenant General Lazewski, a United States Marine, to be extremely entrepreneurial in harvesting and capturing those lessons in a proactive and not reactive way. In fact, we've got teammates from the J7 who are now spread out across the CENTCOM theater, both here in the States and forward, to ensure that in every opportunity we do not miss a chance to grab that lesson and quickly accelerate it into the practice that we adopt inside the Joint Force, so that if there's a loss or if there's something that we can learn from, that we learn it not only in the CENTCOM AOR, but we adapt it across all of the combatant commands, not just into PACOM. And it's across all of the warfighting functions. I've asked them to look rigorously, to check our egos at the door, to remember this is about what's right, not who's right, and to be clinical around the way we look at lessons learned, because we owe it to the force to do that. Thanks for that question.
Absolutely.
What a non-answer. What a yap, filling words and filling the space with words.
Brown jacket in the back.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Jonathan Dre with Roca Politics. As you said, at the end of this war, Iran will be without a missile or drone capability, a navy, or the ability to make nuclear weapons. Since the largest threat and sponsor of terror in the region will be incapacitated, are there plans to move assets and troops out of the Middle East? I guess in a perfect world, a year after the war has ended, what does the military presence in the Middle East look like compared to before the war?
Well, I appreciate the question. I do think when you address a real threat head on, it creates new options on the other side. I think what President Trump refuses to do, which too often this town does, is just sit in the status quo. Nobody can do about that. They've got too much capability. What if this happens? What if that happens? He instead says, what's in the interest of the American people? It's going to take some courage. It's going to take some capabilities. We're going to have to gather some.
It's going to take some courage.
Forces there in order to do it. We're not going to tell people how many or how long or what we're willing to do or what we're not.
Basically, we're going to do what we want, and you're going to have courage. Okay? We're going to do what we want, and you better not be a panicking. That's what it is.
willing to do. But if you do that and do that decisively, then out the other end is a recognition that it opens the aperture of what's possible. I mean, President Trump did the same thing in creating an opportunity for the Abraham Accords. Now you've got a situation where a lot of those countries are coming alongside us, recognizing the threat of Iran. So I think our posture in the future will be based first and foremost on our own national security, power projection, the ability to defend our people and our interests. But no doubt, working alongside our partners, the president will look at what makes the most sense going forward. I appreciate that question. Yes, sir.
Partners being Israel and the Middle Eastern countries we have bases on. Right here.
That's it. Is that the policy of the U.S. military now?
Thank you, Secretary Hexa. Two questions for you. The Vice President has often emphasized that the goal of this war is to denuclearize Iran while also avoiding a larger quagmire. I know that you touch on this. I'd like you to expand on how do you do that? How do you denuclearize the country while also avoiding this, forever war? And then there was a report last night that the Pentagon asked the White House for $200 billion for Iran war supplemental. Can you confirm this? And can you explain why a package this large is necessary?
Well, first of all, none of this would have been possible without Midnight Hammer, without that audacious mission with very clear goals that did obliterate their ability to enrich and the capabilities they have in those facilities. So it created the conditions for Iran to step forward and say, okay, you can reach out and touch us like that in our nuclear ambitions. You can see that we're still trying to do this. Let's make a deal. And President Trump put our two best folks on it, Steve and Jared, and they worked diligently, earnestly. I watched it to try to pursue that deal. And ultimately, I think the whole time Iran sort of said, well, we'll talk. As we build more missiles and as we build more UAVs and we create this conventional umbrella so that if we chose to, we could try to reconstitute the program and sort of naively thinking that President Trump wouldn't do something about it. And that's why, as Secretary Rubio has said, and I've said, it's the conventional umbrella that was growing and growing and growing that was meant to protect that nuclear capability. So you had to address both what happened with Midnight Hammer and what happened with that as well. As far as $200 billion, I think that number could move.
Remember when they sold us Midnight Hammer as, they're never going to have a nuke again? It's obliterated their nuclear capabilities. It's over with.
Obviously, it takes money to kill bad guys. So we're going back to Congress and our folks there to ensure that we're properly funded for what's been done, for what we may have to do in the future, ensure that our ammunition everything's refilled, and not just refilled, but above and beyond. I mean, President Trump, as he said, rebuilt the military in his first term, didn't think he'd use it as dynamically in his second, but he had. So thank goodness he did that.
Everyone that has a functioning brain knew that this was happening with Trump. You don't rebuild the military, and then when he took power, it was like we had the most recruits ever for fuck all. For what? Why are we building up the military for? For your security?
That an investment like this is
what's the difference between yesterday and today? Yesterday there wasn't a troop surge. Today, troop surge. Wow, do you feel safer? Do you feel the security overwhelming you now?
To say, hey, we'll replace anything that was spent.
Wow, $500 billion to Congress. Does that really just get your security blanket going?
Now that we're reviving our defense industrial base and rebuilding the arsenal of freedom and cutting deals like our great deputy secretaries here is doing, long lead times on exquisite munitions, we're going to be refilled faster than anyone imagined. And I think, we're also still dealing with the environment that Joe Biden created, which...
Joe Biden. Smoke. Shut the fuck up, Andrew. Boy, you can shut the fuck up. You can come on my platform and I'll grill you in front of all 500 people on Discord right now. Plus the 40 on Twitch and 40 on Facebook. I will cook you right fucking now.
Which was depleting those stockholes.
Oh, we should build our military? You're a crackhead.
Not sending them to our own military, but to Ukraine.
Coming from somebody that's never fucking served. You know what the soldiers get out of that? Nothing. You know what happens when budget increase for the military? The soldiers don't get new equipment. They don't get new lodging. They don't get new bedding. You don't get new nothing. No food. It's the same situation. It just, you get the ultra rich within the military, and our missile systems get improved. Fucking moron.
Which is every time we reach back and look at any sort of a challenge we have, it goes back to, well, send it to Ukraine. Ultimately.
Send it to Ukraine is wild. So we're doing anti-Ukraine propaganda while we're also asking Ukraine for their help? That's wild
and
work.
Not sending them to our own military, but to Ukraine. Which is every time we reach back and look at any sort of a challenge we have, it goes back to, well, send it to Ukraine.
That's crazy work. Crazy.
Ultimately, we think this should be these munitions are better spent in our own interests at this point. And
I know I joined on my own will, dumb fuck. That's why I know about it. What are you saying? You're telling my chat, yeah, I joined the military at my own will, and that's why I can speak on it. That's what I know about it, and you don't.
This kind of funding bill is going to ensure that we're properly funded going forward. We'll take one more. Right.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jordan Conradson with the Gateway Pundit.
You're Mexican with an America is great 45, 47 tag. No, you're just a fucking clown.
So with the strike yesterday on South Par's gas field, you know, if the U.S. didn't know about it or didn't approve of it, it kind of seems like a trend of Israel apparently pursuing their own objectives over U.S. objectives. I'm not sure if you agree with that, but the president has said he doesn't want to hit Iran's oil infrastructure right now. As you said, the U.S. avoided this on Park Island. Oil's nearing $120. Why are we helping Israel prosecute this war if they're
Let's go. Finally.
We hold the cards. We have objectives. Those objectives are clear. We have allies pursuing objectives as well. And the truth speaks for itself. I mean,
no, that was a great question. If Israel is so capable, why can't they do all this shit by themselves? Why do they need us to bomb Tehran with them?
President Trump was very clear about that. Iran has weaponized energy for decades. Israel clearly sent a warning, and POTUS has made it clear, very clear. Iran knows when you hit Karg Island and you hit military capabilities on Karg Island, which is the only thing we hit, we can hold anything at issue. Anything.
And no, most soldiers aren't joining the military because they want to go protect America. They're joining because it's like their last fucking resort. There ain't nothing much else out there right now. And with opportunities at age of 18, 19, boy, good luck. There's not that you can do it. You gotta have the right mindset, and you can do anything, honestly. But like off rip though, very tough to get in and have benefits unless you're like connected or like you have a family friend knows someone that can get you into a job, right? That's a lot of connections are made. You can do it yourself. Just gotta have Riz. But yeah, the reason a lot of people join is because that's like the last resort. Not like America. America's. I gotta protect the country. Some people join for that. Some do for sure. White usually. But the majority are just joining because like, man, or maybe they need some direction in life. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. Or they're told to join the military. They used to have go to war or go to jail, right? Where you go to the judge and the judge we had one person in our platoon that got court ordered to join the military. Shut the fuck up.
The United States military controls the fate of that country. Iran has the ability to make the right choices. It should not, going forward, target Arab allies, Arab countries, trying to create pain, the pain that they created themselves. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
What a bunch of nothing. So, a bunch of nothing, and you will die for Israel, basically. All right. Well, that's that. Israel's capable, but they need us. They're more than capable to conduct war, but they need the U.S. for sure. France says it will double its humanitarian aid to Lebanon. Dang. Sticking it to Israel directly because Israel's bombing Lebanon. France will double its humanitarian aid to Lebanon to the value of $17 million, Foreign Minister Jean-Noel Barrot said on Thursday as Lebanon grapples with Israel's latest military assault. Barrett made the announcement on a social media account that he visited Beirut as parts of efforts to get a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. There you go. Well, France is going to help Lebanon. This is an hour ago. So, okay, now Netanyahu came out and said Israel acted alone. Oh. So it was corrected. Taking questions from reporters at the press conference in Jerusalem, Netanyahu was asked if he had told Donald Trump about Israel's strike on Iran's South Pars gas field. Netanyahu did not address whether Trump was made aware of the plan ahead of time. He said only, Israel acted alone against the gas compound. President Trump asked us to hold off on future attacks, and we're holding out. As I reported earlier, Trump has distanced himself from Israel's attack on the world's largest gas field, which he claimed on Wednesday that Washington knew nothing about, and confirmed today that he told Netanyahu to stop attacking Iran's energy facilities. Israel previously claimed that the strike was coordinated with the U.S. reports that, citing Israeli officials, have swirled today. Israel knew exactly what they were doing here. And this is Israel's game. This is the game they play. They will do more than what even the Democrats are trying to hold them, but they can't either. Democratic politicians with the liberal Zionism, which whatever the fuck that means. What does that mean? What the fuck is liberal Zionism? Are you what is happening? Anyways, yeah, people are getting duped by Israel all fucking time. They're hitting that on purpose because then it draws us in. They don't just hit that gas field. Oops. No, they knew damn well what was going to happen because of that. And like, it will keep us locked in because Israel knows the American appetite for going to war for them is not there. And so they have to keep us in. They have to keep us in the region. They have to keep the conflict going. They have to keep themselves like, if anything, Netanyahu is so fucking sick and twisted, he's got to keep his own people getting bombed because then it keeps the existential threat alive. It keeps the proxy militias. Because that's why he was making deals with Hamas before October 7th. Netanyahu denied that Israel dragged U.S. into war with Iran. The Israeli prime minister went on to tout his historic cooperation with the United States. We have brought our friend to the U.S. We have brought our friend the U.S. to a cooperation never seen in history. The great collaboration between myself and my good friend Trump is unprecedented. He added that he wanted to dispel the fake news and that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into the conflict with Iran. That's anti-Semitism. Can't say that. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. Except for all of his billionaire friends, anyone that comes up with something he might like that day, social media posts, Putin, fucking Kim Jong-un, President Xi, just the basics can tell him what to do. Israel, when they need to. Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America and for future generations. There's nothing. You have to twist yourself into 18 different pretzels to say that going to war with Iran is good for America. It's not. It comes amid growing suggestions that the U.S. and Israel are not aligned on the war aims and with no signs of regime change in Iran. How to proceed? What do we do? It also comes amid mounting debate within the U.S. about why Trump joined Israel in this war, which came to a head on Wednesday with the dramatic resignation of Trump ally Joe Kent and director of the National Counterterrorism Center in the protest over the war, which was going silly. Joe Kent on fucking Tucker. Midas Touch reposted it. Why am I in all caps? Yeah, they all actually, everyone was posting this. And then he says that like he implied that Israel killed Charlie Kirk and all that.
Very loudly.
He was single-minded.
And he walked off and he went, I believe, into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that. It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean?
Candace Owens is probably cooking today. Boy, that just fed Candace Owens for another week or two. Does she stream on YouTube? Now, 21. Wow, The Bride of Charlie, Red 1.4 million. Oh boy, Jesus! Every episode, and Candace is cooking on this. Jesus Christ. 1 million views per oh my God, it's over with. An investigative series on President Trump, on Erica. She's been nonstop on Erica Kirk since the assassination. I told you guys that shit was weird when it happened. I didn't know I was gonna get into like the conspiracies around it all, but it wasn't the left that killed Charlie Kirk, that's for sure. That was the lies right away that came out. The Kash Patel, the federal government, the stupid governor of Utah that had to parrot the talking points. Yeah, I think this was left. This is left terrorism. Meanwhile, like every schizo on the right actually have been like, oh, hold on. Okay, maybe left bad. Yeah, we don't like them, but like Israel could have done it. Maybe. And like that's what they've been on now for like the whole time, ever since that came out and ever since Charlie Kirk was killed. You had to deal with the cult of MAGA calling you and telling on you. And there was a person I worked with. And he was a sponsor of my softball team, and I had to end it. You know why? Because he put his fucking flag at half staff after Charlie Kirk was killed. I have never ended a business relationship so fast. Never in my life. I saw so many of my friends getting reported at work. I was trying to create a database against people that were fucking doing it. And I think I will. If some conservative shit happens again and they don't like it, and they start telling on you for your posts, let me know who told on you, and we'll build a counter fucking database and get anyone that's engaging in that in terms of, boss, they posted a Charlie Kirk meme, I'm triggered. Let me know who that person is. Let me know who that person is immediately, and we'll build a whole community around shaming these fucking losers, because that is what America has been through. America's already been through a period in which you had Americans turning in other Americans or getting them fired, getting them killed, because like the Red Scare and shit and McCarthyism. We've already lived through that. And you already had a diet version of that after Charlie Kirk was murdered last year. So if that happens, if that happens again, we need to build a database of everyone that's engaging in calling their fucking bosses and getting them fired and fighting fire with fire, because that was horseshit last year. I had so many people I knew that like got demoted or lost their job because they posted a Charlie Kirk meme. Go fuck yourselves. We need a database, all those people that are doing that, in terms of those that are telling on their fucking co-workers and neighbors to their bosses and getting them their jobs lost because their feelings.
When you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that,
we've been.
Where do I submit? We'll if that happens again, we'll get it going and get these people fucking shamed.
Told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate. And the FBI will say that they stopped that because they wanted to turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
I don't think you are.
Because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public, that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to
He's getting a lot of this from Candace's video series.
President Trump against this war with Iran. And we knew at the end of the 12-day war, at the end of Midnight Hammer, that the Israelis were going to come back and ask us to go back to war again.
Right.
So we have a lot of data points between Butler, the assassination attempts against President Trump, the breaches of his security,
He's connecting all of that to Israel. That's
happened
great.
to Charlie Kirk.
Can I just ask you to pause on the Charlie Kirk because
but he's connecting not just Kirk, but like everything that's happened to Trump, or that's claimed to have happened, like with the assassination attempt.
It upsets me to hear what you're saying, to be reminded that he was murdered, but also to hear you confirm what was reported in the media several months ago, that your office had been blocked from investigating his murder. That does not make sense to me. I don't understand why you would ever turn down help in an investigation from a U.S. agency with a lot of experience in gathering intelligence on things. That's your job.
The FBI will say.
What experience do you have, Joe? Joe Kent sucks. Like this is America, though. This is what we got to do now. You got a shitty, grifting journalist on one side, and then a conspiracy theorist crackpot that's also now served in the government telling you what's going on. And like, there's probably some truth within that, and that's all you got to figure out. The whole thing ain't truthful. You just got to find the bits that are, but even then, good luck.
And the DOJ will say that because it's an ongoing case, it's a Utah state case, that back off, they've got it. They've got a smoking case. They've got the fingerprints on the gun, and they've got the case.
But the FBI was involved in the case.
The FBI was involved. The FBI's basically said that they're deferring to Utah because it's now a state case.
They've established a precedent for federal investigation of this crime.
Yeah, and the National Counterterrorism Center's mandate is to investigate any foreign ties, to see if there's potentially any foreign ties. If we don't find any foreign ties, we back off. What I'm saying, without getting into too much detail, is there was more for us to investigate.
You believe there was reason to investigate foreign ties to Charlie Kirk's murder, and were told by the FBI, DOJ?
FBI and DOJ, yeah.
No, you're not allowed to investigate that.
Stop. It's done. They basically cut off our access to be able to get into that information. And look, I didn't even say necessarily that I believe there's 100% foreign ties. There were data points that we needed to investigate. I mean, I think anybody who's even looked at any kind of police investigation, you get 100 leads, you run them down, and 99 don't mean anything. We still had a lot more leads to run down that pertained to some kind of a foreign nexus that we were stopped from investigating. And
that just strikes me as inconceivable that could happen.
So whether you believe that or not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't trust Tucker Carlson. I don't trust Joe Kent. Either one. Both of them suck ass. There's a big like Charlie Kirk grift going on, like in terms of what happened to him. Like it all feeds into itself. So I mean, it just Dan Bongino mad. Joe Kent disgraced himself. Blah 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 blah. This is slop. You know what this is? Slop. Slop. Nonsense. Slop for people that need slop. Honestly. It's nothing. It's Joe. You can't trust Joe Kent. You obviously should not be fucking trusting Tucker Carlson. So who knows if any of that's true? Candace Owens is doing a series on it. I don't trust Candace either, but people are now, so that's fun. But yeah, Charlie Kirk sucked. Shouldn't have been murdered, but he was, and now people are questioning the validity of the truth. Because yeah, it wasn't the fucking left. Who knows? It was for me. I'm still on. The dude was right wing, and now is no longer right wing like he was, and took matters into his own hands, which he shouldn't have done because it was murder. Because you don't live in fucking Utah and be a leftist. Like, it doesn't really work. Like, yeah, Marxist Utah. Like, relax. Like, it's more that's more believable to me than like Israel was behind it. But there's good cases being made, and I'm not gonna stop an enemy when it's making when it's eating itself. So fuck, I don't care. Sure, yeah, for sure, yeah. Israel did it. They were Netanyahu told him. Netanyahu told the dude to do it. Charlie made him mad. So I found some analysis on the situation from Danny, not Charlie Kirk or anything, but just Iran in the Middle East. So he goes, the administration now faces a stark choice, one it can no longer avoid. A, use force to reopen the strait, knowing full well that any strike on Iran's energy infrastructure will trigger retaliation. This is not a limited operation. It's escalation, potentially rapid and potentially uncontrollable. There are no half measures here. If Washington wants the strait open, it will have to fight for it. B, accept reality, cut losses, and pursue a deal with Tehran over the terms of access. Politically unpalatable? Absolutely. But when global oil flows and the stability of Asian markets are at stake, strategic necessity tends to override rhetoric. What last night made unmistakably clear is there is no clean solution, no surgical fix, no easy win, despite what you heard from Pete Hegseth. The longer the administration pretends otherwise, the higher the cost will be. We're going right back into Middle Eastern all war forever. The U.S. and its allies are making concerted effort to de-escalate the oil-gas war, having witnessed that Iran was willing and able to climb the escalation ladder very quickly. To be seen whether Tehran plays ball. Whatever the case, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. It's closed still. It's like, what's going to happen with the strait? And then are we sending U.S. troops? That's basically like where we're at. Americans agree that Operation Epic Fury is a success. Oh, here you go from our state media. Wow, and join his email list. Wow. You can be on the email list, guys, on the White House website. Under the decisive leadership of dear leader, President Donald J. Trump, Operation Epic Fury is delivering overwhelming, devastating success against the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Terror. In just 3 weeks, America's unmatched military has obliterated the Iranian regime's air and naval capabilities, demolished its ballistic missile arsenal and production facilities, annihilated more than 7,000 targets, and crippled its ability to fund and arm terror proxies. Despite a relentless campaign by the fake news, in caps, and the radical left, in caps, to manufacture tales of division, to distract from this historic triumph, it is clear the American people and President Trump's base, which are the real Americans, stand firmly behind our warriors and their commander-in-chief as we accomplish the mission. Well, here it is. Here's the support numbers. By the numbers, guys. Polling confirms united support among Trump's base. 94% of MAGA-aligned Americans and 84% of Republicans support Operation Epic Fury. I don't know. Don't think so. Don't think that's the case whatsoever. I don't think it's anywhere near 50. Might be like 40 some because there's a lot of neocons and losers in the Republican Party. So you're probably gonna have like 40 some. I don't think it's near 50. I don't even think it's there. Like maybe in 2008, after 7 years of war, you would have probably had like 60 still, 70. But even then, like people were falling off. Like at the end of the 2000s, early 2010s, people were like already, yeah, that's why Obama went crazy, but then he just ended up bombing the Middle East too. But I mean, that's why Obama did get big numbers, because people were tired of it already. NBC News says 90% apparently of MAGA Republicans and nearly 80% of Republicans overall back the operation. 88% of MAGA Republicans and 77% of Republicans approve of the strikes. So there's the numbers, guys. Big numbers. Lots of support. The broader American support remains solid amid the Iranian regime's long-standing aggression. A plurality of Americans support the U.S. action, guys. Did you know that? 61% say Operation Epic Fury has been successful, and more than 6 in 10 Americans view the Iranian regime as a real national security threat. Do you guys know that? Just people, you got 6 in 10 Americans just wake up thinking, damn, how is Iran gonna ruin my day today? Damn, just wake up and gang bang on bacon, hating Iran. Wake up, I gotta bomb Iran today. These are wild. They're wild numbers from our state media, which is just the White House now. Do you support war with Iran? Let's ask our chat. Yes. No. You don't get another choice. So Americans agree, guys. They agree. They say they support it. They want it. 94% apparently, according to the White House. See the responses. Dang, you guys get combat patches? There you go. Get Operation Epstein Fury combat patch. I want to see MAGA mad though. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Not Laura Loomer. I know you fucking lying. Operation Epic Fury has the same initials as Obstruct Epstein Files. Wow, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that one. Looks inside. It's not Americans, but MAGA Americans. Yeah, because they say that in right-wing world, they're the true Americans. That's why. Why do you think they went hard with the "What is a real American" meme from the Civil War movie? Libertarian Party didn't like it, even though they suck. If you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes politics. Okay. I mean, y'all did that though. The Libertarian Party ignored it and then endorsed Trump. Dang, not Miss Piggy. I don't think that one's gonna go well. Denmark was reportedly preparing for full-scale war with the U.S. over Greenland in January with military support from France, Germany, and Nordic nations. Dang, we almost had a NATO civil war. Elite troops and F-35 jets with live ammo were sent. Jesus. Greenland wasn't gonna fuck around. They were gonna fight. Good on them too. The Danish military sent explosives and blood supplies to Greenland in January as part of a good. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Good. Fuck all that. Absolutely. Denmark is ready to blow up Greenland runways. Jesus. Holy. What's he wearing on his head? Oh, it's just the camera angle.
Say that this war need to stop immediately. The aggression need to stop immediately, because everyone knows who is the big beneficiary of this war and dragging the whole region into this conflict. And unfortunately, what's taking place now, it's a serve for those agendas. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I wonder who. Yeah, tough camera angle looks silly. That looks funny. All right, Netanyahu, we have some more for you guys, but just some more clips from the day. Netanyahu said he's alive.
Welcome to the Foreign Press. First of all, I just want to say I'm alive.
Darn it. That sucks.
And you're all witnesses.
I know, we don't want to be, but we are, unfortunately.
And now that I dispatched this piece of fake news, I want to give you an update on Operation Roaring Lion.
Operation Roaring Lion now.
Under President Trump's visionary leadership, America and Israel are acting together.
Israel's got to stop because it's making me hate fucking lions, and lions are cool. So stop.
In Iran, with great determination and unprecedented strength.
Well, all right, so he's alive, y'all. Impeach him now. History is watching. He's flaunting that he's considering nukes. Is this Trump considering nukes?
Some of this weaponry is unthinkable. You don't even want to know about it. Oh, you could end this thing in 2 seconds if you wanted to, but we are being very judicious.
Remember MAGA crying and the world crying because we sent Ukraine a Humvee, and they were like, "They're gonna nuke." We gave Ukraine like 2 Humvees. What are you trying to get us in a nuclear war? Biden's gonna get us into a nuclear war. Trump, we can use weapons that will literally like annihilate you in 2 seconds. So like, better be careful. While we're already bombing a city, we didn't bomb any Russian cities. We didn't even use our military in Ukraine. Zero American troops were sent to Ukraine to go fight Russians. So stupid. Just stupid. Stupid people doing stupid things every day. 10 hour, Democrats just decided to officially become the party of punching. Meanwhile, our Congress, you just had Kristi Noem, who was serving as DHS secretary, who killed her own dog. What are you doing? Shut the fuck. Republican politics. Just like they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Trans people, they're trans for all. They have nothing. Okay. All right. Well, a couple other topics I wanted to get into, unless some more shit comes out about Iran. Well, just let me know if some crazy shit happens and Iran kicks off. We'll go into this stuff. Let me know. We'll dive right back into that. But that's the latest up. Let me see. I think that's the latest updates on Iran. People are giving analysis, but nothing really new. I think you guys have heard a lot of it. I've already ranted an analysis for a while now. Hold on. The U.S.-Israel war against Iran has exposed further divisions between the two countries after an Israeli strike on Iran's largest. It's on purpose. Because that's the only thing Israel has to go above and beyond to keep us there. Otherwise, we won't, because the political will in America is gone, and Israel knows it. Israel's efforts to bring about regime change and its attacks on critical infrastructure have increasingly raised criticisms among U.S. allies that Washington has effectively allowed its foreign policy to be hijacked by Netanyahu's government. The American administration's greatest miscalculation, of course, was allowing itself to be drawn into the war in the first place. This is not America's war, and there is no likely scenario in which both Israel and America will get what they want. Duh. We haven't, have we, ever? Except for Israel. But then they get like a piece of land through imperialism, and then they're bombed constantly or hit. They got ballistic missiles coming in at them for it, and they create their own problems. All right, so that's about it right now for analysis and the situation.
So Asen, it was his birthday from our team, and I was just going to say, he obviously clips a lot of your clips, and we were really grateful for him.
No, thank you. Happy birthday, Asen.
I want AOC to wish me a happy birthday. Not fair. Okay, so one of the articles that I thought was interesting today, because I think it interests a lot of people, seeing as Hassan's one of the biggest influencers on the Western hemisphere of politics in America. I don't agree with everything Hassan's ever said and done, but I don't have anything like against him as a person. He's respected the work that I've done with Mercado Media. He shared it out. Like, and that's all I can ask for is like independent media. I do this type of stream, but like most of my content is like just live on the ground, and having any influencer with a big following that's shared my workout. And I've had far right influencers share my workout. They regretted it afterwards because they thought, I don't know what they thought, but they regretted it after sharing my stream once they figured out I'm not a Nazi. But in general, though, I don't have like, you know, I'm not going to position myself along with other content creators against Hassan because they have problems with him. Like, it's like personal problems mostly. It was what I've seen. Yeah, they're against maybe some of his rhetoric. He said bad stuff, but we have the government that we're living under right now lies on a daily basis. So if Hassan's a little spicy with his rhetoric, yeah, I can hold him accountable for that and be like, whoa, why'd you say America deserved 9/11 or whatever? Like, a little crazy, but like, I'm not gonna our government and the Trump administration, and they'll lie to our face. So spicy takes or lying to your face, it is what it is. Like, all right, so they did an article, and it's a opinion piece about Hassan and Democrats are being too cozy with him, even though he's leading a progressive base of people. Like his stream and the people that usually watch him all the time are like going to be, they're usually younger. Obviously they're younger than me or my age, and they're going to be like the future of the the Democratic Party or some leftern party, if it's not the Democrats. And you do need people to hold the Democrats accountable. Otherwise they're just going to be consistently mid and not do anything and just be like, oh, well, we're not MAGA. That's not good enough. Not good enough. And this opinion piece is pretty crazy anyway. So, this is from the Wall Street Journal. As lifelong Democrats, we agree with Senator Ted Cruz on virtually nothing. But Mr. Cruz was brave to decry anti-Semitism in the Republican Party. Mr. Cruz also named a big name, calling Tucker Carlson the single most dangerous demagogue in the country. He's dangerous. I don't know if he's like single anymore. Like when he was on Fox News, probably. But he's kind of like, I don't know, he's just social media guy now. Russia influencer. I don't know. He's for sure a bad demagogue. He's bad, but I don't think he's like the sole bad one now. There's a lot. Our president, hello. The people that are put into the cabinet, into the government. Too few Democrats have followed Mr. Cruz's lead by calling out the rising anti-Semitism on the far left. That must change. Semitism. The anti-Semitism spewed by Mr. Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and other far-right bigots is well documented and widely condemned, but the far left has anti-Semites too. No left-wing agitator is more influential and extreme than Twitch streamer Hassan Piker. Mr. Piker is often called progressive, but that does violence to the term. A self-identified Marxist, he has referred to all ultra-Orthodox Jews as inbred, employed anti-Semitic dog whistles, which is bloodthirsty, violent pig dog, against anti-Hamas viewer on his stream, compared liberal Zionists to liberal Nazis, and said Hamas is 1,000 times better than the Israeli state. Okay, Mr. Piker's depravity doesn't stop there. I hate Hassan. This is why. His misogyny is indistinguishable from that of far-right influencers. When? Where does he do that?
Bringing out the alpha male in you. A few things to consider when you're thinking about Lady Gaga as the top contender for Babe of the Week should be the fact that she might have a penis. The fact that Lady Gaga might have a small penis does absolutely terrify me. Here's why the 5-second rule works. Because when you start thinking for longer than 5 seconds, you're immediately not thinking with your dick and also thinking with this pesky thing up here that we like to call our brains. So once you start thinking with your brain, you're immediately going to psych yourself out. Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark. I want to say thank you to Miley Cyrus for showing off her camel toe at the VMAs the other night. I always knew Hannah Montana was a little slut. Don't even try to hide it. Look, this is a classic example of what happens when your father doesn't pay attention to you. You turn out to be a slut who's craving for attention, and then I tend to pick you up at a bar late night and bang you out on the first day. Bringing out the alpha.
Well, damn. Well, Hassan certainly was in the red pill or something years ago. Yeah, the same him. Not the same person. But I mean, yeah, that was pretty crazy. I don't know if I wouldn't consider that to be Hassan now, based on his content and who he is. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want people pulling up what I used to say 10 years ago. I voted for Trump in 2016, right? Being honest with you, I didn't have a platform. Thank God I didn't have a media platform. I didn't have anybody to influence. But I'm just saying, boy, yeah, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, oh boy, some of my posts would have been highlights. Some of my posts would have been highlights in Metro Surge. All right, this is what you can't follow Mercado. This is what he used to say 15 years ago. Just is what it is. Obviously, I don't do that and say that or be that now because I've grown up. But yeah, that's not good. But I'm sure I think he's condemned his own past. I think he's like specifically addressed this video. Okay, he's praised the Chinese Communist Party. He's gone there in terms of good governance. There's a lot that we can learn from the way they perform out there. Mr. Piker is anti-American, anti-women, anti-Western, and anti-Semitic. No Democrat should engage with him. All should seek to push him into the fringe where he belongs. But it isn't happening, though. The Pod Save America team put him on stage at Crooked Con. Abdul El Sayed, a candidate for Senate in Michigan, tweeted a picture of himself celebrating Piker with a supporter. California Representative Ro Khanna, a possible presidential hopeful, pushed back on X against concerns we raised about anti-Semitism on the far left by declaring his pride in going on Mr. Piker's feed. Okay. Handing Mr. Piker a microphone isn't magnanimous or respectful of views that test your priors. This is a hater. Who wrote this? Going on his show isn't a sign of bravery or willingness to talk to the other side or to show up in challenging places. All these things do is support a bigot. But few dare speak that truth. The only prominent Democrat to call out Mr. Piker's bigotry directly so far is New York Representative Richie Torres. Mr. Torres sent a letter to Twitch in October 2024 detailing Mr. Piker's anti-Semitism. Other Democrats must follow suit. Left-wing anti-Semites are savvier than the Nazi endorsers on the right who marched in Charlottesville, Virginia. I don't want to hear. Listen, what is it? The Anti-Defamation League or whatever, the organization against Jewish hate or whatever. When Elon Musk did the salute and did the Nazi salute on the inauguration, they came out and said he didn't do that. Oh, he didn't do that. He didn't do what? Hey. Israel works far more with the state of Israel, Netanyahu, and the Likud government work far more with the far right than they do the left. Like, they don't, like, this is insane. They don't give a fuck about that, actually, because you do have like far right commentators that will support Israel too, because the money's good. The money good. So you got to be a Christian and connected to how Israel is historically important for Christianity. So you have that as well. So you have like far right neo-Nazis that are obviously actually like hate Jewish people for racist reasons, and then you have the far right that's like they're trying to push a white nationalist agenda inside the United States. They're still Nazis, but not necessarily focused on Jewish people. I guess they're like just every race, any other race, like usually black and brown people. But then they'll like further their white nationalist Christian beliefs and then use Israel as like a historical context to like help with that. But then they're getting paid to do that though, because then you have the far right Nazis that hate Israel for racist reasons fighting against them the whole time. And like it's like a little infighting thing between those two extremist groups. They're like the same but different. And like it's really the money keeping it going. In terms of like on the left though, this is bullshit. There's no anti-Semitism on the left, and people that, and if anything, like you will have dumb statements made for sure, maybe like a statement, but in terms of like influencing people to hate the Jewish people because of their religion, their culture, the food, whatever, any of that, I don't know. I have not seen that. I have not seen that whatsoever. I'm not seeing that amongst anybody about people like going at like the Jewish faith. And if it's like onesie and twosie situations, for sure, condemn. That's not the focus. That's wrong. You shouldn't be criticizing a culture because of the government and like the state of Israel and Netanyahu and like their imperialistic goals. They do not and should not represent the culture, religion, and of Jewish people. It shouldn't. And if it does for you, that's probably a problem. If you're like you are Jewish and the state of Israel is like what keeps you like as an identity being a Jewish person, that's wrong. I think that's fucked up. That's super bad, especially if you're like a liberal Zionist or whatever the hell that means, and like you're for freedom and democracy. And what the hell are you supporting a hyper nationalist singular religious state? What kind of democracy and freedom is that? Wouldn't you rather be in a country that is not religious at all, and like you can have your freedom of religion, and like everybody can practice their faith, including Judaism, freely? I don't know. That's how. But like having the government, just like when Pete Hegseth told in that DOD meeting or the press conference with Pete Hegseth and Raising Cain there, that you got to get on your knees and pray to Jesus. I hate that. That's gross. I don't want my government telling you to get on your knees and praying to Jesus Christ for guidance. I don't like that. I don't want that at all. None. Zero. So Americans don't want that in the government. Why would you want it? Why would anyone want the state of Israel to be just solely like Jewish completely? Like if you're trying to be a democracy, if you're trying to be a dictatorship and you're trying to run your country how you say goes, sure. Yeah, you're gonna be like Russia and like you have to have orthodoxy in the entire thing, or North Korea, which is like supreme leader worship, or similar to like America, which is like people are the same way. Okay, but like if this so-called liberal Zionism exists for democracy and people that are trying to support Israel, but also like hold it accountable, but like still advocate for the same goals that Israel wants to do to expand their territory. What are we talking about? It's not anti-Semitic to call out the state of Israel and like its goals as a country, but anybody that's like attacking the Jewish identity as like their culture, their faith, any of that's off limits. Like that shouldn't be a factor in the criticisms whatsoever. Unless that individual person is saying that I have to support Israel's genocide and also imperial expansion because that's what makes me Jewish. If that's the case, then that's their problem. That's that person's problem, that they've attached their Jewish identity to the state of Israel. That's their personal problem, nobody else's. But the Jew haters on the left go further. There's Jew haters on the left, guys. They use loaded words taught in social justice seminars, like apartheid and genocide. Whoever wrote this article is a fucking loser, yo. Settler colonialism. Wow, big words. They push age-old tropes about Jewish wealth and influence, like the Epstein class is a Jewish trope. Since when? I'm pretty sure Epstein class is talking about pedophile elites. What is this? This is an opinion piece, right? Then most of them suck. But what are you saying? What are you trying to say? What are you suggesting, writer? What is the writer suggesting here? Because what Epstein class for me and majority of people mean billionaire pedophile elites. Not thinking about Jewish people when I hear Epstein class. I hear it when I hear the right wing talk about George Soros paid actors. I know what that one means. I know what you're trying to say there, but Epstein class ain't there. Turning the tax the rich into tax the. When was that? Who did this one? At an event this afternoon, a group of individuals were chanting "Tax the Rich," began to shout "Tax the Jews." This was an event they put on with Supervisor Mahood, labor leaders, and dozens of workers to announce a plan. They put that in their article based off of people chanting "Tax the." It's just people chanting. Did this come from Hassan Piker? Did Hassan say that? What is this article? This article is trying to mirror. They think this article is, they have a lot of feelings and they're very upset that people are against Israel, and they're using Hassan Piker as like, this is the face of it. That's what this article is doing. This language is more than offensive. It can beget violence. Last year, an alleged murder seemingly inspired by left-wing rhetoric killed 2 people for the crime of being at the Capitol Jewish Museum. Federal prosecutors secured an indictment Wednesday detailing nearly 10 charges connected with the killings of Israeli embassy staff members Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram earlier this year. The indictment against Elias Rodriguez includes counts of premeditated murder. Rodriguez, okay. According to prosecutors, Rodriguez was caught on surveillance footage approaching the 2 victims as they prepared to leave an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum. Rodriguez allegedly fired at the 2 Israeli embassy staffers several times. And then after they had fallen into the ground, leaned over them with his arm extended and firing several more times. Okay, Milgram, okay, crawled away, followed behind her, fired again. Okay, one hurdle, providing the murder was motivated by religious bigotry. One hurdle in proving that the murder was motivated by religious bigotry and not vitriol against the state of Israel is that Rodriguez repeatedly denounced Israel over the war in Gaza at the scene of the crime and in alleged statements online, including his comment to police after his arrest that "I did it for Palestine, I did it for Gaza." Oh, because they're trying to say that it was a hate crime? If a trial jury convicts, prosecutors will then have to prove that capital punishment is warranted, a feat that hasn't been, they were seeking capital punishment on him. In the new indictment, prosecutors outlined a series of alleged statements Rodriguez made criticizing Israel and voicing support for violence against its citizens. He said, "Please, please, please, God, please vaporize every Israeli 18 and above so these kids have some chance at being human." Jesus. Yeah, probably can't put those statements out there. Probably shouldn't. Prosecutors also allege that Rodriguez authored a document that referenced Israel's war in Gaza, saying that thus far rhetoric has not amounted to much. He allegedly set the document to be automatically uploaded online after the shooting. That's the one thing I have noticed, like in contrast to like covering, because I've covered Russia's invasion of Ukraine way more extensively than the genocide in Gaza, and those that are like pro Gaza are way more like bomb Israel now than like the supporters of Ukraine. I mean, supporters of Ukraine want Moscow to suffer. I don't know if I was seeing anybody posting kill all 18 years age Russians so they feel it. I don't know. People definitely wanted Moscow to be hit though. People definitely wanted Moscow to feel what Kyiv was feeling. I don't know if they were saying some crazy shit like that though, but like, is what it is. Yeah, individuals shouldn't be doing that. But to then say that this is like, they're trying, what this article is trying to do is like take that individual statement and make it as if this is like what all people on the left feel about Israel. And then they're connecting Hassan to it. There's no excuse for putting political tribalism before Jewish safety, or for overlooking hatred to generate likes online, or for failing to act against the scourge of anti-Semitism spread by the Hassan Pikers of the... No. Do you know who surged anti-Semitism? Do you guys want to know who actually did it? Take a guess. Put in the chat. Who do you think contributed to the surge of anti-Semitism? Actually, the truth. Who did it? I want to see. I want to see if chat got it. Who or what actually contributed to the surge of anti-Semitism in the country? Anyone? MAGA? No. I mean, yeah, but no. Israel. Israel did. Netanyahu. Nobody has contributed to the hatred of Israel and why people are against Israel more than Israel. They did it. They're the reason. Them. They. Netanyahu caused it. That's why. Hassan Piker, well, again, I don't agree with every single thing that comes out of his mouth, and he's a little spicy sometimes. He's a content creator. Of course he's going to. Okay? He gets paid to talk. And sometimes you just say some spicy shit, and you get more clicks that day. It is what it is. But he's a very consistent streamer. He streams 8 hours a day. He's already, I think, litigated all of the claims against him here in this article because I've been forced to see it because every left-leaning content creator for the past 5 years has tried to come at Hassan. And so, like, I have to see it because it's like I guess I'm on the left now. I think probably, yes. But like since 2020, probably. So like I'm seeing all of this shit. I just don't want to contribute to it because I have no reason to beef with anyone I don't have any reason to beef with anyone on the left, I don't think. And like there's a niche too on the left that I'm noticing of just like mostly liberal content creators who all they do is at the progressive wing or further left wing of the left. And that's like their whole thing. It's like, what is that? What is that? Like, there's definitely things on both liberal and left to criticize and people not being right or being fucking stupid. But in terms of like your entire content niche and like in politics is to just criticize progressives and you're like a Democrat. Like, and you don't hear anything. And like, yeah, Republican Party bad. Yeah, they're bad. But like, it's the progressives are the real, like what? And and that's why I've just stayed out of that. Like, and I'm not going to ever get into that. I don't think I'll ever get into like, I got to take a side and on the left here and like to call out Hassan or something. It's dumb. It's dumb. But yeah, if Hassan says something dumb, like I have in the past, like his position on Russia, wrong. And the invasion of Ukraine, wrong. But I would tell that to him in his face. I'd have a conversation with him probably about it. I don't know. I would tell it to him. I'm sure he'd be fine with it. But like contributing to this feelings-based article, because it is feelings, it's an opinion piece, which is trying to call out the left for being like that. Get out of here. Nope. Go away. And here was Hassan's response to it. Which was here. We're all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. No, you don't. Nope. You draw lines in the sand, and people will not go on the left, and they'll be like, actually, this purity thing, this purity testing thing is dead. I'm gonna go be with MAGA now because it's just easier. Because all you gotta do is just be told what to do, wave the American flag around, my truck, my guns, my beer, my fish, and that's it. Whereas on the left, you got to deal with all this freaking horse shit all the time, nonstop. It never ends. Third way is the exact reason why Democrats lost to incompetent fascists like Trump twice. They can't publicly defend neoliberal corporate centrism, so they lean into another wedge issue, Israel. These guys have no ability to read the room. Neoliberalism in Israel has no base. They kind of do. That's why there even is such a pushback here and like why Wall Street Journal's posting articles. They do have a base. It's just not big anymore. It's just not their base isn't the popular base, or it's not one that can keep America in the Middle East longer than we are right now. Like it's bad. Whereas in like the war on terror, if you criticized our war, like you were anti-American, I don't know what was happening to adults back then. I don't know how many people are getting detained speaking against the war on terror. Probably a lot. But right now, it's the popular take to be against the war in Iran. It's not even a controversy. Interesting. All right. So, well, again, I have my own beliefs. I have my own opinions. I don't need a larger content creator to tell me what to think and feel. You know, I thank Hassan for promoting Mercado Media streams He seems to have most of it together in terms of like what's right in the world. He's not a perfect person. I don't care. like, he's got his stream. He's got the biggest stream, I think, in politics, probably. A lot of people tune in. He's not going to be right about everything. He's live for 8 fucking hours a day doing politics. I couldn't do that, except unless there's like breaking news. And then we can do that. But like, that's because there's something to cover. But I can't just go through news for 8 hours. So credit to him for that. But unless I'm on the ground. If I'm on the ground personally, like IRL, I can stand out there for 12 hours. I'll be 12 hours out there. I don't care. But like, I don't know. You're not going to be perfect, especially in the culture and climate that we're in. And I would absolutely struggle to view Hassan as more of a threat to an institution than MAGA and the Republican Party, like at all. Like I don't see any threats to America on the left or like the country or like, you know, if anything, most of the left-wing policies and positions are going to help the working class. Actually, some of their foreign policy takes are bad, definitely, like their position on Russia and the East and looking at it because our country is bad when it comes to foreign policy and other things. We commit imperialism. We do things bad. So it's caused a lot of people on the left to like look at other countries and be like, oh, they'll save us. Oh, Russia will save us. Oh, whatever. It's no, wrong. Nope. Nuh-uh. Not going to happen. So there's like a balance you need to have there for sure. To call out the powers that be. But if you call out a power, you should be able to call out all the powers. It shouldn't be like, well, this power good, this power bad. I went to Ukraine. When I went to Ukraine, there were Ukrainians, and I'd sit down at their table, and we'd have a great dinner. And do you know what they were doing? Criticizing Zelensky as their freedom to do so. And that was the first time I actually heard some pushback to Zelensky. Because obviously I'm like, you know, Zelensky's such a figure in like the West, and like he's such a big, and he is like for sure. He's been brave. He's been a great leader. Been brave leader. He's been there for his people. But like when you get into it, like there's people that will criticize Zelensky, and they don't like they'll support him as the president, and like they're obviously they can't vote for a new president right now under martial law, but they have criticisms, and they want Zelensky to do this or do that or hold him accountable for this, or money to this thing is weird. Like what's up with that? Like, or they got the protests to get the troops home that are taking place in Kyiv like on a weekly basis. So like even then, like even inside of Ukraine, who like they're at war with Russia, they got to support. They have to like they can't divide themselves too hard, because then that's Russia will just get it right in there, and they're aware of that. But even then, you can still criticize your leader. You can criticize. You should be able to hold all power accountable, not just because West bad, therefore countries like Russia must be good. They'll do imperialism our way. Like that's insane. That's nuts. That's wilding.
Well, if you thought things.
All right, I got another video for you guys I'd like to react to today, called "I Hate Everything," because that's kind of how I feel. I feel that right now when it comes to reading the news and waking up every day. I hate it all, and here's a reason why. And this is a really good video. I watched a few minutes of it. I figure let's react to it on stream as well.
Couldn't get any worse. I've got some bad news for you.
My friend is a guy named Jake Paul. And come here, Jake, say it for me.
Yeah, what Mr. Trump has taught me is courage. You know, we never back down from a...
And that the video, the reason why I wanted to play it, because if you're older than me, maybe Jake Paul is obviously new to you. He's like a boxer now or whatever. He's an idiot. Like, where did this guy come from? Came from YouTube, and he's a Paul brother, but like, oh my God, like when I grew up with these kids and like what they would do. And he had like my team, oh my God, we got to do it. I got to do it to him, chat. Got to do it. I got to do it. I'm sorry.
Y'all don't know what's about to happen.
Yep.
Team 10.
We're digging it out. Let's go. All right, I won't make you listen to the whole song. I'm sorry. I won't make you listen to the whole thing again. All right, but you got to remember that happened. People forgot. That was a thing. He said London is my city or whatever. What he came in and say, like, England is my city. It's the worst. It's literally the worst. Like, hold on, where is it? Where is it, dude? Dude comes out. Yeah, this guy. Hold on. England is my city, guys. A classic. Anyways, he's getting endorsed by the president of the United States now. All right, so that's where we're at in America. If you ever just like, why are we at where we're at? Here you go. You had a YouTuber who did cringe shit like that for years, built a big platform doing it, and now he's endorsed to run for office. So
Fight, even if they're much bigger than you, much bigger than you.
I think if you were to go back in time 10 years and tell me that the guy from Bizarrevark, the ex-Viner who went viral for making one of the most disliked music videos in the history of the website, the Team 10 leader Jake Paul would be in the year 2026, encouraged by President Donald J. Trump to run for public office, I'd probably slip into cardiac arrest somehow.
I'm going to make a prediction that you will be, in the not too distant future, running for political office. And you have my complete and total endorsement.
This entire rally felt like a dream you'd have after taking 40 Benadryls. It was surreal. Starting with one of his supporters fainting about 30 minutes into the speech. He doesn't know how to react, so he just kind of stands there and waits for other people to make sure she's alive. If I had $1...
He was like, this needs to hurry up. Every time someone faints, it's like they need to hurry up. They're cutting into my speech.
For every time someone fainted around Donald Trump and Dr. Oz had to spring into action to save the person, I'd have $3, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it keeps happening. And each time Trump just clearly doesn't know how to handle himself. He's not the most adept at dealing with crises, which is why I'm
That was one of my favorite pictures, when he's just like standing there and dude's legs are in the air and he's just like,
so glad he's in charge of a global conflict right now. He just kind of twiddles his thumbs and waits for them to be done, like it's an inconvenience to him. Though he does ask the DJ to get some music going.
Want to play a song?
Wanna play a song?
Do you think
they're trying to air her out over there?
The people backstage are listening to me? How about Ave Maria? Well...
How about some Ave Maria?
Because is going to be okay. How about putting it in right now, Ave Maria, if they are listening. Ave Maria by Pavarotti.
Yeah, that should lighten the mood.
By the way, that's this song, by the way. So she's out there fainting. He wanted to play this song while she's fainting. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. That's our country now. It's America now. That's like the song when it's like America's downfall happens because of Trump.
Woman was fine, but I bet she wished she had stayed unconscious after a sweat-ridden Jake Paul officially took the stage and began rambling into the mic.
You guys have that swag. There's a lot of young kids in here.
I mean, God, dude, you've got a whole fucking ecosystem under your
You guys have that swag.
arms. He has microorganisms swimming in his pit sweat. That's
Ew.
so much perspiration. Calm down. Sweating that much through a blazer as thick as that one is some dastardly work. And in front of your president that you love so much, you gotta do better than that.
I know God is with us. I know He wants us on the right side of history. And everyone here has to do their part. And God's got us. Trump's got
God and Trump's got us.
Let's just back up and put things into perspective here. America is barreling towards World War III. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed, oil tankers are being bombed, gas prices are soaring, and the death toll in Iran continues to rise as Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth refuse to do anything but up the ante. Now, with the new buildup of Marines in the region, boots on the ground are looking more and more like an inevitability, assuming we don't already have special ops over there right now, of course. And yet, with all of this happening in the backdrop, this is how our wartime president chooses to spend his visit to Kentucky.
Let's go.
Why he's even in Kentucky in the first place is crazy enough.
It's because to stick it to Massey. Yeah. He went there to go endorse the Massey's challenger, who's even who's a psychopath, and do dances with Jake Paul.
Rally he laid into the state's Republican representative Thomas Massey, who you may already be familiar with on account of his restless efforts to release the Epstein files. To some, that would make him worthy of praise, but to others, he's a dangerous hack peddling liberal hoaxes for his own selfish gain.
Because it's the who's in and who's out. That's how you know in the Republican Party who's in the inner circle and who's in the out. And Massey, because he's taken such a hardline position on the Epstein files, he's out. He's on the out now. He's still MAGA, but he's kind of like this, whatever the fuck's happening. He's like in the, it would have like if Marjorie Taylor Greene would have stayed in, they would have like their own little wing of the right wing that still is like further right than neocons and like old Republicans. Like they're still further right than that, but like they're not in the cool club.
At least that's what Epstein's best friend of 10 years seems to think.
Massey's a complete and total disaster as a congressman and, frankly, as a human being. We got to get rid of this loser. He's disloyal to the Republican Party. He's disloyal to the people of Kentucky. And most importantly, he is disloyal to the United States of America. And he's got to be voted out of office as soon as possible.
As Massey pointed out, he votes with the Republicans 91% of the time in Congress. He only deviates on topics like war and Epstein.
When will you change your party affiliation to Democrat?
I thought you knew. I vote with Republicans 91% of the time. And the 9% I don't, they're taken up for pedophiles, starting another war, or bankrupting our country.
So when you have a war that's being waged in part to distract from Epstein, it's no wonder Trump is coming out against him in full force.
Tom Massey stands with the ladies of The View.
I'm not really sure who he thinks he's fooling, though. You'd have to be a pretty big fucking idiot to go along with Trump on this one. Who could possibly be that stupid?
I mean, look who's behind him.
Oh, yeah.
All of our voices matter in America.
But it wasn't just this one brief appearance. As Jake teased online, he would actually be sitting down for a full-length interview with the president, too, which technically makes this the first ever interview Donald Trump has done since launching a war with Iran. I'm not joking. I wish I were joking, but I'm not. In a video titled, "I Asked President Donald Trump Everything," he certainly did that. I mean, come on, this is Jake Paul we're talking about. He's not gonna leave anything on the table. Only the most pressing questions are gonna be asked here.
How big is the TV on Air Force One? Who would you, you want to see me fight? Do you have advice for younger people for going against the tide, going against the wind? And if you could come back in history and reincarnate and like be able to experience someone else's life, who would you come back in history as?
That's a very interesting question.
Let's be fair, though. I'm not sure Jake Paul could name the 3 branches of government if he tried. His brain might start melting out of his head if you were to ask him how many members of Congress there are. Make no mistake, this was mostly just a chance to talk about boxing and have the president hawk Jake Paul's branded deodorant to an audience of 9-year-olds.
Oh my God.
This is my brand, which is all about winning, so it's funny you're saying that. Made in the USA. I know you're all about bringing jobs back to America. I don't know.
That's good looking, though.
Thank you, man.
Go buy it, MAGA. That's good.
Go buy it, MAGA. This is grifting. I hate when people call them, like, grifting is when you have products to sell. And your whole thing is like to get them in to sell products, which is what MAGA is. Buy my products, buy my lies, buy my crypto coin, buy my deodorant, buy my Bible, buy my shoes. Buy. I got products.
Yeah, we're in
buy my phone.
Walmarts and really hitting like the heart of America.
Are we sure it fucking works though? Of course there would be no hard-hitting, interesting, smart, or valuable questions being lobbed the president's way. Some might argue that's why he agreed to the thing in the first place. Jay gets to sell his deodorant, Trump gets to peddle his ugly hats, doesn't have to think about all those children he murdered. I mean, it's a win-win, really.
It's actually my first show on this podcast, so you're gonna be my first and last guest.
I love that he starts this thing by admitting that he really has no podcast. I thought to myself when Trump said this in his rally that I don't think Jake Paul has a podcast.
His local podcast is big stuff.
But it's a thing now for the sake of this one interview that Jake just couldn't possibly resist conducting. He needed the chance to glaze one of the biggest warmongers and pedophile protectors of the modern era. He just had to. Before we even get to the 1 minute mark, they're already talking about Jake's latest boxing match where he got absolutely bodied by Anthony Joshua.
Is it
very, that was one of my favorite boxing matches to watch.
True that you watched the Joshua fight on Air Force One?
I watched it. I watched you, and I thought you were very brave.
There's that validation Jake craves so much.
Would you ever run for office?
I think so. That's what I'm asking for some advice. Like, how did you make that transition, and was it hard?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I had to do it because you get to a certain age, you have a few years left. You got about 40 years to make the decision. But I had one shot. You know, the timing was good, but if I waited longer, it wouldn't have been good because of the clock, you know, the famous clock.
Yeah.
Father Time.
Yeah.
Father Time, the famous clock. We all know it, folks, the famous clock. What a unique way of speaking, truly.
Your brother's a great guy, too. Who's a better fighter, you or him?
I am, sir. I am, sir. He knows that, too.
That's actually one of the most genuine laughs I think I've ever seen from Donald Trump. I will say that he seems to very much prefer the company of the Paul brothers over his own fail sons. One of the happiest I've ever seen him is when he faced off with Logan last year in this.
That's because the Paul brothers are popular and his sons don't have anything. Like, they're not popular. That's
video.
Yo, I'm scared.
Look at that smile, dude. He's having so much fun. They spend so much time rambling about fights, and I'm sorry, I just could not care less. I don't really expect much from Jake Paul, obviously, but come on. You're interviewing the president of the United States, the most powerful man on the planet, who is, as we speak, in the middle of waging the largest regional war since Iraq. And Jake clearly wants this to be somewhat of a serious interview because he does broach the topic of Iran eventually. It just goes about exactly as you would expect.
No, and I commend you for your bravery, and I think so many Iranians do as well. I think what you're doing is phenomenal, and I was shocked that so many activists like in America didn't like it, but meanwhile they're like, oh, well, we support women, we want women to have all these rights. Meanwhile, you're
fix your tie. What do you get to sit with? You get to sit with the president of the United States and have your tie fucked up and whatever. I sat with Trump and sit with fucking a hoodie, but whatever. But you're gonna wear a suit. You're gonna have your tie like that. That's crazy.
Rating the women of Iran, and then they have an issue with it. I thought that was very confusing.
So is making the air unbreathable part of liberating the women of Iran? I don't know, just wondering. I would love for Jake or the pedophile sitting across from him to answer that one. Not to mention the fact that the IRGC, an acronym that means nothing to Jake Paul, I imagine, has not really changed its leadership all that much since the war started. You took out the Ayatollah, sure, but is his son gonna be any different? What was the end goal here? That would be a real question to ask if Jake were actually in the business of asking real questions.
But he's not a journalist.
We can't say anything that might hurt the president's feelings, so we should just kiss his ass instead.
And that's like what right-wing media is now. You just have your favorite person somehow, who I don't know how Jake Paul is like a favorite person of MAGA. That's because he says Trump's good. That's why. He's one of them. That's why. He's like he's in the MAGA cult. He has been. Same with his older brother.
The military's done a great job.
Yeah, no, it's been incredible to watch.
Great job bombing those historical sites, Mr. President. You really liberated all those civilians by fucking killing them.
You know, the economy's great. It's a little bit of we take a little winding road for a little while.
A little winding road.
We have to wipe out the evil. It's an evil curse. They're evil people.
Evil people, yeah.
Evil
Unlike
people.
us who defend pedophiles and bomb children in their schools.
We support gays, but they throw gays off the buildings, okay? We support this. I mean, the things they do.
Apparently, Republicans only care about LGBTQ rights when it can be used to justify the bombing of people overseas.
It's the same thing with free speech, too. When I had all those conservatives throwing the protesters in my face while I'm out in metros. Why aren't you talking about Iran? Oh, you care about protesting and protesters? Why don't you talk about Iran? Why don't you talk about the protesters here in the United States for once? Stop pretending like you give a fuck about the Iranian protesters while cheering on ICE here at home. You fucking morons.
If that were the real concern.
I hated that. That's why I out of spite, I didn't talk about Iran, because I was getting hit from all these morons while I'm out there in the middle of Metro Surge, and they want me to care about Iranian protesters getting fucking gunned down while our own people are.
And I'm pretty sure we would have sent troops into Saudi Arabia years ago, not to mention gay marriage still being illegal in Israel. It's almost like human rights play no role whatsoever in our determination of whether we should go into a country or not. Not that I expect this bottom feeder to mention any of that. He's just here to nod along and tell the president what a great job he's doing.
Was it strategic to go after Maduro first and secure the Venezuelan oil and then go after Iran?
So no, it wasn't time-wise. It wasn't. No, Venezuela it was the right time. They were sending drugs. I mean, they were sending drugs.
They're sending drugs.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
They were sending the most violent prisoners. They emptied their prisons. They let them into our country.
So that's just another load of horseshit. If Jake were in any way prepared to have this discussion, he would have pointed out that neither of the indictments written up by the Justice Department to justify Nicolas Maduro's arrest accused the Venezuelan leader of engineering some sinister plot of mass migration into the United States, and that the Venezuelan Prison Observatory reported that the country's prisons housed some 22,000 people in 2024 and remains overcrowded at 145% capacity, the opposite of letting them out. As far as drugs go, Venezuela isn't even mentioned as a fentanyl producer in the DEA's 2025 National Drug Threat Assessment, fentanyl being the leading cause of overdose deaths.
Remember when Trump said that there's fentanyl also coming in from Canada? Remember when he also said we got a northern border problem too? We got fentanyl coming in there too.
In America, it's also not mentioned as a country where cocaine originates. Some of it is trafficked through Venezuela, but the United Nations estimates that around 70% of cocaine leaves Colombia via the Pacific route, with most cocaine entering the U.S. through Mexico, according to the DEA. But Jake Paul has the brain of a fucking insect, so of course he's not going to say any of this. Why would he? He's an NPC for the administration, just like all the other mouth-breathing influencers who gladly used their platforms to prop up
all of them
and promote Donald Trump during the election. These are some of the most brazen opportunists out there. This isn't a conversation worth having unless you're going to press the president on even the slightest of issues.
Much more important is to just take this country and bring it back, and it's really back. It's really back.
Yeah, I feel it. No, and I think everyone else feels it as well, and
I feel it.
I think the momentum's growing, and we really appreciate you.
They have to respect our country, right?
Yep.
And to do that, they have to respect your leader.
Yep.
You have to respect the country, and to do that, you got to respect the leader. Respect you have to respect me. Well, yeah, you eat that, Jake Paul. That's you now. This is your life. You went from it's every day, bro, to sucking the president of the United States.
So I appreciate it. You just take care. Say hello to your brother, okay?
I will.
We've reached
Good
a
boy.
very
say hi to your brother. Go bring him next time. I miss him.
Weird moment in history. A moment where members of Team 10 are posting quotes from former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld on the...
If you are criticized, you may not be doing much. If you are not criticized.
Their Instagrams. Gun tubers like Brandon Herrera are running for Congress.
Brandon Herrera is a loser too.
And winning. Mr. Beast and now Jake.
Mr. Beast is a loser too. Sorry, not sorry.
Paul have expressed interest in elected office, and Matt Pat has been talking to Congress about the creator economy, which is kind of cool, actually. You know what? That one's good. Bottom line, we're living in a world where content creation is blending together with politics. Asmongold, formerly a World of Warcraft streamer, is now one of the biggest political creators on Twitch, and this is the kind of commentary he offers.
The difference between voting for Gavin Newsom and a JD Vance, or voting third party and abstaining and lowering the threshold for JD Vance to win, is the difference between quite literally 15 million people dying due to USAID cuts, which Gavin Newsom would.
Which we should have done, by the way. It's too bad. If they die due to the cuts, that's just too bad. It's not our problem. Like, if we're cutting USAID...
And Asmongold is now one of the top right-wing streamers. Okay? So this guy right here, and this is fucked. This is a good debate between Adam and Hassan, though. I watched that.
D-cuts and people in Africa die. Too bad. Suicidal empathy? Yeah, fuck them. Who cares?
I think we have to be really honest about what this means going forward.
Asmongold's whole thing is he doesn't shower. Actually, like it's called the Roach King. That's what his base calls him. He doesn't shower. He is just absolute like garbage piled up in his, like he's like that on purpose. Like drinking water hurts him and shit because he just drinks soda all day. He's probably has kidney stones the size of boulders.
Honest about what this means going forward. There's a certain responsibility for streamers.
People love that and think it's so cool. He's like so dirty and shit, but you don't know the health concerns he probably has, but off stream.
And YouTubers to be mindful of the impact they might have on electoral politics. Some use their power to influence for good, and others relish in the pain it causes.
Oh, you really think you're something and know everything, but you're still just a live streamer? Yeah, but you're in my comments. And the fact that it's now 2.5 hours in, I'm probably saying things that are true. Otherwise, you would have stopped listening.
YouTubers to be mindful of the impact they might have on electoral politics. Some use their power to influence for good, and others relish in the pain it causes.
Yeah, like Nick Shirley. Who would have thought Quality Leering Center would have started all this right after Renee Nicole Good was murdered?
But the power can be significant, and if you aren't diligent, you might just end up like Jake, being used by this crooked administration to normalize an agenda of suffering. Whether he wants to admit it or not, Jake Paul has become a propagandist sellout for an administration carrying out an illegal and offensive war in the Middle East. And that's not a sentence I ever thought I'd say. Well, if you thought things...
Jake Paul. That sucks. And that sucks real bad. But, I mean, that's just American politics now. That's just where we're at. Jake Paul is a serious, serious figure in U.S. politics. Everybody check into the stream. Say what's up. Now we're going to get into some more fun news. This news is way more fun than what we've been covering now. I gotta pull that out. I got to get this context in. Check in. Let me know where you're watching from. If you haven't, the next topic is going to be AFROMAN, who just won his civil trial, but it had to be one of the craziest civil trials I've seen. I kind of regret not covering it. I wish we would have watched it live. There were people covering it live, but I didn't hear about it until like yesterday when videos were coming out. But basically, there was a police raid at his house, okay, by a sheriff department. And it went to a civil. The sheriff's department then sued AFROMAN because he made a video, a music video, based upon the home raid that happened, and said that the sheriff said that it caused them great harm and all that. Like there's almost defamation kind of thing. An Ohio jury on Wednesday ruled in favor of the rapper AFROMAN after a civil trial in which law enforcement officers accused him of causing them mental distress. That's what it is. Mental distress by using footage from their 2022 raid on his home and a pair of music videos. The rapper, whose real name is Joseph E. Foreman, was sued in 2023 by 7 officers within the Adams County Sheriff's Office in Southern Ohio. They said in a complaint that Mr. Foreman's use of their images in the music videos and to promote his brand had caused them to suffer humiliation, ridicule, mental distress, embarrassment, and loss of reputation. The jury delivered its verdict after a 3-day trial that raised questions of policing, free speech protections, and artistic freedom. Mr. Foreman, who's best known for his 2000 song, Because I Got High, celebrated the verdict in a video posted on social media Wednesday afternoon. "We did it, America. Yeah, we did it. Freedom of speech," which we'll watch these clips. The Adams County Sheriff's Office did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Wednesday evening. According to the complaint, the officers, which are 4 deputies, 2 sergeants, and a detective, were acting on a search warrant when they raided Mr. Foreman's residence in Winchester, Ohio, in August of 2022. The warrant cited kidnapping and drug trafficking as reasons for the search. Anna Castellini, Mr. Foreman's lawyer, told the New York Times in 2023, no charges resulted from the raid. Mr. Foreman was not home, again, who is AFROMAN. AFROMAN was not home during the 2022 police raid, but security cameras and his wife, using her cell phone, recorded the faces and bodies of the officers while they were on the property, according to the lawsuit. Mr. Foreman, AFROMAN, used the footage and music videos as promotional material for his tours and merchandise, including t-shirts that depicted the faces of some of the officers. In one of the music videos, "Will You Help Me Repair My Door?" surveillance footage shows officers swinging open a gate, kicking down a door, and roaming armed around a living room and a kitchen. The song we're going to listen to, Lemon Pound Cake, shows one of the officers, gun in hand, pausing briefly in Mr. Foreman's kitchen by a cake inside a glass cloche. It made the sheriff want to put down his gun and cut him a slice. It's so funny. In a social media post the month after the raid, Mr. Foreman, wearing one of the promotional t-shirts, thanked one of the officers for helping him get 5.4 million views on TikTok. Congratulations again. You're famous for all the wrong reasons. Wow, what a hater. On Tuesday, Mr. Foreman, who's AFROMAN, wearing a suit, tie, and sunglasses, all depicting elements of the U.S. flag, testified that he felt he had the right to post the videos after the officers broke his door and raided his home. He goes, all of this is their fault. If they hadn't wrongly raided my house, there would be no lawsuit. So, based AFROMAN, okay, and of course, oops, here's the song, okay, so he had a home raid at his house, and here is the video of that in a music video, and it's pretty good. Here you go. Lemon Pound Cake. Wow, listening to an AFROMAN song 26 years later is crazy. Crazy work. I haven't heard an AFROMAN song.
The Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break. They found no kidnapping victims, just some lemon pound cake.
It's so good.
Mama's lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice.
We gotta smoke. We gotta spark up.
The sheriff wanna put down his gun
and cut him a slice.
Of what? Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his Glock. Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got high. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake. He's a Adams County Sheriff. He's hungry and he's big as hell. He was sniffing for weed. Then he smelled another smell. What was that? Mama's lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice. It made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Of what? Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his Glock. Lemon pound cake.
He's got people singing the song.
Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake.
The one thing I've learned about this, and I'll play it. The one thing I've learned is when you have people singing along to your songs, you're likely not going to lose. Okay, if you can get people to sing with you and what you're doing, like for example, like Robbie Road Streamer, right? That's what he does.
Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got high. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake. He sees my cake and my porno mag call boom boom. Something happened to his camera on the way to the evidence room.
What happened?
It tastes so nice. Make the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Of what? Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his Glock. Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got high. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake. Lemon pound cake.
It just keeps going.
Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got high. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake.
I love this song now. All right, so that was a song. And that's what caused so much emotional distress to the sheriffs, and that's why they took him to civil suit over that song. Okay, which great song, W song. Now that song's gonna be legendary. But then, like, during the trial, there was so many moments, like during the trial, that was just hilarious. Like, it's just so funny. And they had to play these videos in court. Okay, so AFROMAN Day 2. Hold on. Deputy claims AFROMAN singing about sleeping with his wife has caused him tremendous pain as grounds for defamation. Day 2 of the AFROMAN defamation case has begun, and Randolph L. Walters Jr. testified that AFROMAN singing about sleeping with his wife caused him tremendous pain. Walters Jr. also stated that being labeled a thief has hurt his reputation. So far, all deputies have claimed they do not believe everything they hear or see on the internet, and they have all been called names unrelated to AFROMAN songs.
You're claiming that is the defamation statement, is that he said he had sex with your wife?
Yes.
Okay. And that's painted you in a false light?
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know if your wife's cheating on you or not?
You want to go there?
No, I just want to ask that question because you said we don't know. I just
been with that woman since middle school.
Been with that woman since middle school.
But you know what? Once somebody puts it out there for their fun and entertainment, it's out there.
Damn.
And it's a problem.
So it's something we cannot verify the truth of? Is it a thing that can be verified true?
Can we verify the true?
Ask your client.
Ask your client. Dang, help. Damn, been with her since middle school. I don't think so. Where was the rest of it? Okay, this is another clip that's funny.
Hits you had was, but then I got high.
Because I got high.
Because I got high.
Great clips. And then they made him play this video too in the court.
Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich. Yeah.
He's destroyed this entire sheriff's department. This is what we needed to do to the Hennepin County sheriffs. This is what we all should have been doing to them. Dildos was funny, but we needed some song. We needed more songs.
Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. Stop stealing my dough.
They're taking his money. They disconnected his cameras.
Stop stealing my dough.
Yeah. So they kicked his door in. They took they moved his money around. It was like a lot more than just like the botched rate. That's why he did all this.
Stop stealing my dough.
Probably the bad person to do this to. Probably the wrong person. What was this?
In my opinion, I fucked his wife doggy style. He said it like they were facts.
Why did we not watch that? Yeah, and then he had to play this video in court too because he made a video about Lisa, who is one of the sheriffs.
Lisa, make 'em know Lisa, pussy like pizza. Make 'em know Lisa, make 'em know Lisa, pussy like pizza.
Where's the whole thing? I gotta play the whole song because it has her in it too. Hold on. I gotta pull it up, the whole thing. 1 second, y'all. There's a clip in our chat. Where is it? He made a whole song. Pull it up here. Really bad idea. Here we go. Okay, so this was played in the court, and they had to play AFROMAN's song "Mocking Her." Wait, do they? Can we? Is that's? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it on this. It's called "Lick 'Em Low, Lisa." I think that I don't know if the video is taken down. I can't find it on his YouTube channel anymore.
Something that's bigger than mine. Lick 'em low, Lisa. Lick 'em low, Lisa.
It's not on there.
She raided my house. She disconnected my camera. Then she went down on my spouse. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Y'all keep on laughing. She's gonna eat your wife's food.
He's just like vibing. He's singing along.
Wait a minute. What the fuck? Oh, this. I did a show one night, and this girl said, "Hey, AFROMAN, I want to give you some Zuskies."
The AFROMAN didn't care about that, about her crying, because he's like, well, I mean, there it is. I don't care about crying. There you go. Here, perfect. Thank you, algorithm.
No, I posted it because the sheriff's never supposed to raid in my house in the first place. The whole raid was a mistake.
Exactly.
All of this is their fault.
Yep.
If they hadn't have wrongly raided my house, there would be no lawsuit. I would not know their names. They wouldn't be on my body. They wouldn't be on my home surveillance system. And there would be no songs, nothing. My money would still be intact.
Yep.
Nothing. So all of this is their fault.
Exactly. Yeah. Want to hear that? Or does he get to the part where he says he doesn't, he addresses her crying, and he's like, listen, she wasn't crying when he had AR-15 pointed at my kids when they came in and raided my house with weapons. I can't remember if I saved that part or not. Yeah, here you go. Here you go.
What they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything you...
Under the circumstance that I got freedom of speech, after they run around my house with guns and kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do. And I think I'm a sport for doing so, because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
Exactly.
You were at Lisa Phillips's deposition, correct?
Yes, sir.
In your lawyer's office?
Yes, sir.
Same office where you filmed part of that video last Friday?
Yes, sir.
And you saw how upset she was when she was answering your lawyer's questions about how this had affected her, right?
Yes, yes.
And you saw your attorney say, do we need to take a break?
Yes.
And you saw her say, no, Let's go on and get this over with.
Yes, sir.
You saw all that.
Yes.
You knew she was upset.
Just like she knew I was upset when she was standing in front of my kids with an AR-15.
Exactly.
Around the trigger ready to shoot me. Just like she knew I was upset when she cut my cameras. But I'm not a person. She is. So I'm sorry for being a victim. Let's talk about the predators.
There, that part.
Okay. So you saw all that. You saw how upset she was. You heard the testimony about her children. You heard the testimony at the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home upset. You heard all that. But you're still posting stuff about
it. Because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they had did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault. And now they want to sue me for their mistake.
Exactly. Fuck that. Got him.
Anything that could change your mind about
anything that could. No wonder he won this case. What a dog. That's who the sheriffs can afford for a lawyer.
What you're doing to these deputies.
Have you ever thought about it's wrong?
These deputies.
Is there anything that can change my mind about the fact that they shouldn't have been at my house in the first place? Is there anything that can change my mind about how my money shouldn't have been touched in the first place? No.
Exactly.
That's all.
You know what he did? He didn't cry about it. He made a song, and it's funny, and people sing along to it now. He turned a moment where a lot of people, that would scare people. But, I mean, think about it. I mean, you're at home, or he wasn't home that day, thankfully, but you got the police just kick your fucking door in and off of nothing. There's nothing there. They say that he had people there and drugs and shit, and there was nothing. It was a botched raid. And so he's saying, yeah, they should have done their due diligence and proper investigation until, like, yeah, the kicking the door down and having all the law enforcement agencies show up to his house to do that is their fault, is their problem. Crimson Desert's ready. It's their problem. Exactly. 100%. AFROMAN's uniting the country today. Where's the full video? I gotta play is this the full one? No. I gotta play the full AFROMAN video. Why can't I? There he is. I gotta play the whole thing because he posted a song going into.
Is a son of a bitch.
Okay, calm down, Fantano. Where is it? Where's the whole? I gotta play the whole song that he does. Leading into the. Hold on, where is it? My bad. I don't want to get you guys dizzy. Should have bookmarked the original video. I think it was on the 16th. He posted it. Now we need where's this whole song? November 2nd. I think I shared the whole song too. There you go. Some of it was clipped out. I mean, this is fine. It's like 3 minutes. It's longer than this, but I think this is good. All right. So going into the verdict, he posted this song about the criminal trial. Or no, it's civil trial. Not criminal, civil trial.
AFROMAN will bring it to ya. AFROMAN is gonna do ya. AFROMAN is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. Brian Newland is a flag. William is a pedophile. If I'm telling folks the truth, how come I have to go to trial? Newland sexting kids, that's true. Now he's stealing my money too. My proof's on the internet. AFROMAN will bring it to ya. AFROMAN is gonna do ya. AFROMAN is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. Tasha Chamblin is a confidential informant. Roy Gabbard is the judge that signs fictitious warrant. This whole situation is totally their fault. Don't rape me, don't get videoed and caught.
Going through his refrigerator.
AFROMAN will bring it to ya. AFROMAN is gonna do ya. AFROMAN is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. Prosecutor David Kelly turned to jelly when they fell. Coward ran to Arizona so he wouldn't catch the hell. Kimmy tried to dodge us. Rogers tried to retire and dip like a rat leaving a sinking ship. AFROMAN will bring it to ya. AFROMAN is gonna do ya. AFROMAN is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. All you crooked cops in the world that's doing wrong, you better stop, you crooked cop, before I put you in a song. Make your family and your friends laugh out loud and sing along. My proof's on the internet. AFROMAN will bring it to ya. AFROMAN is gonna do ya. AFROMAN is gonna screw ya. The proof's on the internet.
You got to be confident going into you got to be confident putting that out. All right, and then here was the ruling.
It's been an emotional case. It's been a well-tried case. The lawyers did what they should do. The parties did what they should do. I just want to remind everybody
Thank you, Salt of the Red
how
Earth.
the verdict comes out isn't something, public comment. So if you have an emotional attachment to the verdict, don't express it. Wait till you get out of the building before you let your emotions out. In all circumstances, the jury finds in favor of the defendant. No plaintiff verdict prevailed.
All right, he wins, or where'd that go? He won, and then he posted. Where'd it go now? He posted a video right outside. There he is, right afterwards. We did it, America.
Yeah, we did it, America. Yeah, we did it. Freedom of speech. Right on, right on. Yeah, God bless America. Yeah, power to the people. Yeah, 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 yeah.
The guy who sang "Because I Got High." Oh boy. Oh, here's this. Oh, one more here. AFROMAN's lawyer quotes. Oh boy. I forgot I saved this one.
You've worked with kids for how long?
30 years.
You've got into the mind of kids pretty well.
Yes.
When they would play Mr. Foreman's song Lemon Pound Cake, did they take that as a literal fact from your observations?
No.
Were they laughing and joking about it?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Are you familiar with the song W.A.P.?
I think I've heard
sorry,
it.
no, strike that. I'm going to give you the complete song.
Oh, boy.
And then summarize it because I only want to say it once.
Oh, boy.
Are you familiar with the song Wet Ass Pussy?
Yes.
Is that a rap song?
It is.
Has your students played it in class?
Once, and I asked them to please turn it off.
When they were listening to it, did they think that was fact?
No.
So they didn't think that that was depicting anything in real life?
No.
So you didn't have to teach them that wasn't real?
Right. No, I did not.
You've heard the song, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you believe it's a literal interpretation?
No.
Would you agree it's derogatory towards women?
No.
Even though it says nasty things about them?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the artist's opinion, I guess. That's the way I feel.
Maybe not an opinion you like, but...
Yeah.
So, Ms. Grooms, has Mr. Foreman's posts about Sean or any of the general posts about the Adams County Sheriff's Department as a whole affected your life any at all?
No.
Would you believe it would have affected your life while you were married to Sean?
If it had any effect, I guess that would be the time it would have an effect.
But as his spouse, you would have expected it?
Yes.
Okay. And
this is the wife.
I don't want you to go into too many detail, but is it fair to say that Mr. Foreman, the posts about the police department, everything had not a damn thing to do with your relationship between you and Sean and why it came to an end?
No, it did not.
So the posts never affected your life, never affected your marriage?
No.
Okay. So any statement to the contrary would be false?
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of ended it right there then, didn't it? That one kind of ended right there. Leading into that, AFROMAN's music video Lemon Pound Cake was played in court as Officer Pound Cake was forced to sit and watch.
Sean, you were called Officer Pound Cake by Mr. Foreman?
Multiple times.
Yeah, that's his ex-wife.
He received hundreds of pound cakes at work from different people.
Okay. And the context of that name comes from a music video that Mr. Foreman created, correct?
I don't know where he got it at, but you'd have to ask him that question.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play what's my
I wish we would have watched this trial. That would have been good.
I'd like you to watch it.
I regret not watching the trial. Oh, we already played the music video for you guys, but they made him watch it in the... They made him watch the music video because that's Officer Pound Cake right there.
Stop it there. So you've seen Exhibit D, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You would admit that's you with the glasses walking by the lemon pound cake on the counter?
Yes.
And that is security footage from the search of Mr. Foreman's residence?
I assume, yes.
But there's no question that's you during the search?
Yes.
There is question? Or there's...
No, that was me, yes. Absolutely.
And that's why he called you Officer Pound Cake. Because you took a double look. Defiant rapper testifies that he exercised free speech when he released a music video featuring images of Ohio deputies raiding his home. Winner. I forgot he plays guitar. Damn. Oh, there you all go. The latest court case was AFROMAN. He ended up winning. I won. Yeah. All right. I think we can end it there. I'm gonna end it there. I don't want to get back into what is this?
It was very sneaky, kind of like a Pearl Harbor. Okay, that was real sneaky too, huh? Pearl Harbor kind of sneaky. I think we can all be a little sneaky sometimes. It was.
All right, that's enough. All right, I'm gonna be on my gaming channel tonight. I'm typing in game. I'm lost now. I'm gonna be on my gaming channel tonight, and you guys should tune in because we're playing a brand new game that just came out 20 minutes ago. It just came out 20 minutes ago. That noise you heard was the game being ready to play. Okay, so at 7:15, which is in like just a little bit from now, a little under 2 hours from now, we're going to be playing a brand new game called Crimson Desert. It's an open world, like The Witcher type of game, Skyrim type of game, what it looks like. So it looks really good, and I want to play it, and I'm going to. And we're going to do a series on it. So come on over, check it out tonight at in 112 minutes. There you go, minutes now. So I'll share the link in the chat. I'll redirect you guys to this stream, so that way you're there. You can get your notification bell, get the notification on, so that way you're notified of the stream if you want to come tune in, if you would like to. But besides that, guys, we're going to be live again tomorrow, Friday. Made it through almost a whole week back at it again, and I missed you guys. I did, but I needed a break from everything going on. But we're back, so we'll be live again tomorrow, same time, with the news, and then we'll have gaming afterwards as well, and that will continue all the way until I go on vacation. I mean, this will be the next schedule, all next week, and then so 2 more weeks of this, and then I go on vacation on coming up. So I'll be gone. I'll be gone for you guys for a while because I needed a vacation. But you guys, please come tune in. Gaming, join the Discord server. Link is in the description. We have a Facebook group you can be a part of. We have all types of community you guys can join so you guys never miss the streams. Thank you to Twitch for tuning in. You guys are awesome over there, over on the Twitch platform. Make sure you guys follow. Facebook, same thing. Follow the YouTube and the Twitch if you guys could, if you would like to, for more And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night. See you on the next one.
The Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break. They found no kidnapping victims, just some lemon pound cake. Mama's lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice. It made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Of what? Of what? Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his Glock. Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got hot. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake. He's a Adams County Sheriff. He's hungry and he's big as hell. He was sniffing for weed. Then he smelled another smell. What was that? Mama's lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice. It made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Of what? Of what? Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his Glock. Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got high. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake. He sees my cake and my porno mag call boom boom. Something happened to his camera on the way to the evidence room. Mama's lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice. Make the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Of what? Of what? Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his Glock. Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got high. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake. Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his Glock. Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound cake. Munchies because he got high. Lemon pound cake. Pound cake.
Roll another blunt. Yeah. Oh, good. La da 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 da. La da da. La da da da. La da da da. La da da da. Yeah.
I was gonna clean my room until I got high. I was gonna get up and find the broom, but then I got high. My room is still messed up, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah, cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high. La da 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 da. I was gonna go to class before I got high.
Come on, y'all.
Check it out. I could have cheated and I could have passed, but I got high.
La da.
I'm taking it next semester, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah, cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.
Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Go to the next one.
I was gonna go to court before I got high. I was gonna pay my child support, but then I got high. No, you wasn't. They took my whole paycheck, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah, hey, 'cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high. La da 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 da. I wasn't gonna run from the cops, but I was high. I'm serious, man. I was gonna pull right over and stop, but I was high. La da da. Now I'm a paraplegic, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah, 'cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.